Hi, AniQuest here. This is my recap for the anime level 2 super cheat powers. If you dig my recaps, don't forget to subscribe and smash that notification bell. This story takes place in a messed up world where humans treat demi-humans like straight up slaves. Our main dude Banaza, though he's got a different vibe. He's all about being nice to the demi-humans, but the humans hate him for it. Even the demi-humans warn him to stop being kind, but Banaza ain't having it. He wants everyone to get along, but not many folks feel the same. Out of nowhere, Banaza gets summoned to a whole new world, and they tell him he's a candidate to be a hero. Now he's stuck in the magical kingdom of Clyrode, smack in the middle of a long-ass battle against the Dark Army. The kingdom been summoning heroes from other worlds, hoping they'll fight the Dark Army for them. First things first, they gotta check Banaza's skills. When he got summoned to their world, he had to start all over at level 1. But in return, they give the candidates divine blessings from the gods. These blessings give them powers that no regular person can get just by training. It's called divine revelation. Banaza can read their language, but when the display shows his stats, everyone's freaking horrified. Turns out, Banaza didn't get no divine revelation. His stats are just like any regular person's. It's a major letdown, and the summoners consider it a failure. Banaza tries to tell them he's just a regular merchant and asks if they can send him back home. But nobody gives a damn about his words. Instead, they're all in awe of another candidate who apparently got some crazy powers. This dude's stats are all level 999, and they're calling him their savior, begging him to fight for them. Banaza just wants to go home, but nobody's listening to him. He's racking his brain trying to figure out how to get back. But the king's too busy announcing that the blonde dude will be their hero. Some time passes, and Banaza gets thrown into a carriage and taken away. He looks back, and the king tells him that the summoning gate closed, so they can't send him back home. The kingdom admits it's their screw up, so they're gonna make it up to him. Instead of just getting rid of him, they're gonna let him live in the Delavza forest up north. He can spend the rest of his useless life there, but the only condition is that he keeps his damn mouth shut about the mistake they made. On the journey there, Banaza's got an escort who straight up tells him not to talk to him. But Banaza's a smooth talker, and he manages to get the guy chatting. Turns out, in this country, whether you're a human or a demi-human, they all get treated the same. Banaza's thinking about how shit was looking real bad at the start. His stats were trash. He got stuck living in the damn forest, and there's some dark army threatening humanity. But Banaza ain't about to let nobody look down on him no more. So he starts thinking maybe this world ain't all that shitty after all. Took them a whole damn 20 days to reach the forest. When they finally get there, Banaza gets handed a bottomless bag filled with mad cash and enough food to keep them going for a while. Their driver warns him about the Dark Army lurking around in the forest, so if he wants to stay alive, he better hightail it out of there quickly. Once he's alone, Banaza rummages through his inventory and grabs a sword. He spots some slimes nearby, and they look kinda similar to the ones from his old world, so he figures they won't mess with him. But he was dead wrong, and the slimes come at him, and Banaza's gotta defend himself. Somehow, he manages to survive the encounter, but his cheap-ass weapon's already starting to fall apart. Right then, a notification pops up saying he just hit level 2. His stats look different now, but Banaza's confused as hell about the weird symbols replacing the numbers. He switches on voice notifications, and the voice tells him he's learned some magic spells. He can activate them without opening any menus, and Banaza's straight up shocked by all the spells he scored. But hold up, an alert pops up revealing that there's a monster lure spell placed on the bottomless bag they gave him. That's why the slime attacked his ass. And considering the weapon they gave him was practically useless, Banaza figures the kingdom was setting him up to die. The voice asks if he wants to remove the lure spell, so he does. And the idiot wonders why the hell they'd use magic that's so damn easy to get rid of. Banaza starts looking for a safe spot to take cover, but then the notification stops him. It says that the forest is packed with a crazy amount of melicium. It's just a fancy word for the liquids or gases demons emit. That shit's seriously harmful to humans. The voice asks if he wants to purify the forest, and our boy Banaza thinks it's a damn good idea, especially if he's gotta stay there. The system explains it'll take up 1/3 of his magic, but Banaza figures he's so weak it doesn't matter. But then, when he activates the purification spell, it turns out to be a freaking epic display of magic. And just like that, the notifications go wild as Banaza levels up multiple times. Back at the castle, the princess points out how messed up it was to send Banaza to the forest. especially when it was all our fault in the first place. And to top it off, the Dark Army set up their front lines in the Datta forest. But the king doesn't give a damn. He just straight up calls Banaza a worthless piece of trash, saying he ain't fit to be their hero. But hold up, out of nowhere, the king gets some urgent news somebody just pulled off the most powerful holy magic ever, purification. The king is so amazed, thinking it was the golden-haired hero who learned that high-level holy magic already, but then he finds out it wasn't even him. The golden-haired hero headed south, but the purification magic went down in the forest up north. Meanwhile, our boy Banaza's chilling and realizes he leveled up all the way to level 367. He didn't even take out monsters, so Banaza figures in this world you can level up just by throwing magic. But here's the thing that's messing with Banaza's head. The weird symbol is still there, showing up next to his stats. It's a lot to wrap his head around. So Banaza decides to silence the level up notifications. Banaza checks his magic reserves and damn, they're fully restored in seconds. Instead of thinking he's some magic prodigy, Banaza figures his magic capacity must be straight trash. He's worried he might still be in danger cause his magic ain't strong enough to purify the forest properly. Since Banaza's banned from living in town, the system suggests he use shape-shifting magic to blend in, so he gives it a shot. First, he tries changing his gender, but that ain't working for him, so he switches to something that suits him better. Then the system recommends teleportation magic, so Banaza teleports himself right into the city. In his old world, teleportation was some high-level sorcerer stuff, but here it seems like everybody can do it. Smart-ass Banaza thinks he can teleport back to his old world, but nope, that shit doesn't work. So he looks for a guild to make some money. Becoming a merchant might be tough since he's a newbie, so he hopes to find an adventurer's guild. That way, he can do some monster slaying or take on transport quests. Lucky for him, the system gives him directions to the guild. When he gets there, they break it down for him. Adventurers get ranked based on their achievements. The higher the rank, the better the rewards and tougher the quests they can take. It's pretty much like guilds in his old world, so Banaza decides to sign up, but he can't use his real name. So he goes with Fleo instead. Fleo wants to make that cash fast, but his rank is too low to earn much dough. Right at that moment, Fleo catches wind of a girl who needs an escort to the Datta forest. Problem is, she ain't got much cash to offer. And to make matters worse, word on the street is that the Dark Army got a base right smack in that very forest. Ain't nobody willing to take her, but she is desperate to help her family that lives near there. Some adventurers straight up shove her aside because they're annoyed, so Fleo offers to take her. She explains that she doesn't have much to offer, but Fleo says it's not a big deal since he has been there before, and he can just teleport them there. Everybody's jaws drop when they hear him say he can use teleportation magic. They think he's lying, and don't believe he can pull off such a rare skill. Fleo's clueless and surprised cause he figures it ain't even a beginner spell, and it didn't drain much of his mana. Then this royal knight named Balirosa comes in, demanding Fleo back off from the girl. She declares that Fleo doesn't look like a skilled enough sorcerer to use such an advanced spell, so she is suspicious of him. Her crew's just as skeptical, accusing him of having some shady plans. Fleo realizes he can't afford to raise suspicion, so he offers to take them all with them. They find a hidden spot so he can teleport them, but Balirosa warns him not to pull any funny business. Fleo teleports them in an instant, and they're all shocked. Teleportation alone is mind-blowing, but Fleo took them hella far. They start wondering if he's some badass sorcerer from the top ranks, but Fleo just tells him that he's a rookie adventurer who can use a bit of magic. They all apologize for treating him like trash before, and Fleo's just glad they ain't suspicious of him anymore. Then the young girl notices that the forest ain't covered in that thick Milicium layer anymore. Fleo prepares to tell her what he did, but his system warns that it's dangerous to inform a demon about him using purification magic. Fleo's hella confused about this demon talk, but Balirosa and her crew start pointing their weapons at the girl. The guild been suspecting her, so Balirosa demands she show them her true form. At first, the girl acts all scared, but then she straight up shocks everybody by revealing her true self. Her name's Fenris, and she's the lil sis of Fengirl from the Infernal Four. She unleashes enough Milicium to bring all the girls down, and Balirosa's mind is blown cause she didn't expect the girl to be a demon connected to the Infernal Four. Fenris impressed by Fleo, seeing he ain't affected by the Milicium, so she decides to save him for last. Fleo manages to rescue Balirasa, but he knows he can't bounce himself while protecting the other 4 girls. But then Fleo taps into his teleportation powers and gets all the girls out of there. Even he's impressed it actually works. Fleo don't know why he ended up here, but he ain't gonna let himself get wiped out before he can do shit in this new world. He stands up and gets ready to unleash every damn spell he's got. Fenris tries to stop him, but the dude ain't having it. He busts out this spell called Meteoric Leap and launches himself into the damn sky. Even he's surprised at how smooth that move was. Then he pulls out another ability to defend himself. Fenris ain't no slouch either. She starts teleporting around to dodge Fleo's whirlwind, but Fleo ain't playing. He hits her with a gravitational spell to keep her locked in place. Fenris is straight up stunned by how powerful this dude is. Fleo's scrambling, going through all his spells, trying to find one that'll restrain her. His system suggests he use subjugation magic, which basically enslaves the target and lets Fleo control them. Fleo refuses to use magic like that, but time is running out as Fenris is about to break free. She keeps throwing spells at him, but Fleo's system keeps nullifying them. It's only a matter of time before she busts loose, so the system keeps pushing Fleo to use subjugation magic. But Fleo keeps rejecting the idea because he just got to this world and doesn't want to bring that kind of corruption from his past world. Then out of nowhere, Fenris admits she don't have the magic to break free and straight up tells Fleo to end her life. Fleo refuses to do it as he explains he ain't even into fighting in the first place. Fenris is shocked when he sets her free. She lets him know she's a warrior of the demons, always clashing with humans. But Fleo doesn't give a damn if she's human or demon. He just ain't down to eliminate someone who's already surrendered. Fenris is blown away by his kindness, and she transforms back into a human, dropping her beast form. Fleo offers to let her bounce, but he wants her to promise she won't mess with humans no more. He checks his bottomless bag for some clothes for her, but she's drained from using her magic and falls asleep. That night, Fleo takes a look at all the different types of magic he's got. He wonders why people find it hard to believe he can teleport and why his magic is so damn powerful. Fenris wakes up wondering how she lost, even though she's resistant to magic. She realizes Fleo healed her while she was knocked out and points out that most folks would have took her out and skinned her, but Fleo didn't, so she promises never to fight humans again. And Fleo showed such insane power that she decides to acknowledge him as her master. She vows to dedicate her life to repay him, but Fleo says it's okay. But she ain't backing down. She straight up offers to be his slave, no strings attached. Fleo ain't about that slave-owning life, but she determines that if she can't serve him, then there's nothing left to live for. Fleo stops her and finally gives in, letting her tag along. Later, Fleo spills all the deets about how he got summoned and failed to become a hero because he had 0 skills. He shows her his true appearance and admits he's clueless about what to do next. He's sure she'll regret following him, but she explains that her race lives solely for the one they recognize as their master, no matter who he is or where he is from. She swears to always stay loyal to him. Fleo agrees once again to let her roll with him, and she couldn't be happier. At the castle, the king's hella disappointed when he hears that the golden hero straight up let the troops he was in charge of get wiped out. This hero blames the soldiers, saying they panicked, and claims he did everything he could to save them. He bounces, but another soldier spills everything to the king. Turns out this hero just chilled behind the army the whole damn time, then dipped out while everyone else fought. And he had the nerve to blame everyone else for the loss. It's looking real bad, and some of the troops start hating on the hero. When he's alone, the hero's mad as hell because none of his abilities have improved even a bit after a whole damn month of training. He can handle weak-ass monsters, but he's straight up helpless against any beast that knows how to fight. Just then, his servant Tsuya shows up to greet him. This dude's a real piece of work, telling her to come with him so he can spoil her with the castle's money. The next day, Fleo decides to hit up the Adventurers Guild to make some cash. But he can't get used to Fenris calling him master. Some merchant mistakes them for a married couple, so Fleo thinks it might be easier to travel together if they act like a couple instead of raising eyebrows. Fenris happily agrees to be his wife because it's a Lupin's dream to have a strong husband. Fleo tries to remind her they're just pretending, but it's too late. She's already calling him darling. At the Adventurers Guild, Fenris gets her own adventurer tag, and when Fenris sees Fleo with matching accessories, it reminds her of this marriage ritual her Lupin race performs. They swallow the bones of prey they hunted together. Lucky for our boy, he gets interrupted before he can dwell on that thought, because the guild receptionist asks for Fenris's name. Fenris is about to proudly announce her real name, but Fleo cuts her off and registers her as Raze. So Fleo straight up tells Raze that she gotta start living as a human and use fake names from now on. And right then, they announce at the guild that there's some crazy ass quest to stop these psycho bears from getting into the city. All the adventurers are scared shitless because these psycho bears are the ones who wrecked the hero's army. It's a freaking emergency, so adventurers of any rank can take the job. And get this, the guild's paying out 10 times the usual amount per bear to motivate someone to step up. This job's looking hella profitable, but Fleo ain't sure if he can handle it. But Raze, she insists he can. Fleo reminds her that even the real hero failed to beat those bears. But then Raze comes up with a plan. She'll take down the psycho bears herself and prove how strong Fleo is because he's the one who defeated her. Fleo teleports them to the forest where the bears are chilling. And there's a vacant house there that the guild said they can use as a base. Raze is all confident she can handle the battle on her own, but Fleo ain't letting her. Plus, he's got some spells he wants to test, so Raze is just stoked they'll be together. Right then, they hear screams and find the same group of knights from earlier surrounded by the psycho bears. Raze remembers them and couldn't give two shits about those weak-ass losers. The buff girl's in bad shape, but she's still trying to fight, ending up in a tight spot. But luckily for the knights, the psycho bears get taken down by an attack. One tough bear's left, but Raze kicks its ass. It was Fleo's idea to save the knights, so Raze thinks he's just too damn nice. The knights are all grateful and explain they were worried about what happened to Fleo. Fleo's scared they'll find out Raze's true identity, so he just introduces her as his travel buddy. She wishes he'd introduce her as his wife, but they get interrupted by another psycho bear. The bear goes straight for Raze, but she shuts it down with one terrifying glare. Raze acts like she don't know what happened, and the bear nods its head, making them think it surrendered. They decide to keep it as a pet, but the knights are hella shocked because these psycho bears wrecked the hero's army. Raze says that's even more of a reason to take it as they pet, but Fleo's thinking about preventing it from hurting others. He puts a collar on it to keep it in check and uses shape shift to make it blend in more. They try to come up with a name for it, but the knights can't believe how they just casually tamed such a fierce beast. Later, the knights thank Fleo for saving them once again and introduce themselves. Other than Ballyrosa, there's Blossom the badass fighter, Bolano the witch, and Byrelli, the ex-farmer turned knight. They reveal that they want Fleo to teach them how to fight. The golden hero got hella pissed when his army failed him and swore he'd never lead another force against the dark one. He said he'd only reconsider if he found trustworthy peeps to serve him. So, the golden hero's been holed up in his room until that time comes, and the king ordered the knights to dedicate themselves to combat until they can take down beasts on the same level as the psycho bears. But these four can't even defeat one psycho bear together, so they need Fleo's help. Fleo's thinking he don't even know jack about how magic works, so there's no way he can teach anyone. Meanwhile, Raze is feeling hella jealous watching these girls trying to get close to Fleo. So Fleo decides to tell them that Raze is his wife, and they just trying to live a quiet, peaceful life together. The knights step back and understand the situation. But then Raze suggests that Fleo helps them out. She points out that as his wife, she knows better than anyone that he's a kind-hearted dude who won't abandon someone in need. Fleo knows he can't teach what he doesn't know, but he can see how much they need his help. He admits he might not be the best teacher, but he agrees to train them. The girls are stoked. But they got one more request. They need a place to crash, and they're even down to pay rent for a corner of the living room. Raze thinks it's a bomb idea because there are plenty of rooms, and she and Fleo can share a bed since they're married. Meanwhile, word gets to the Dark One that the one who wiped out the demons and purified the Delavza forest ain't even from the kingdom of Clyrode. It was one lone individual. The Dark One's surprised as hell to hear that one person's got magic powerful enough to take out demons instantly. He's made up his mind and tells his subordinate to find and capture that individual at all costs. The next morning, Fleo wakes up and finds Raze straight up staring at him while he sleeps. When he asks her what the hell she's doing, she answers that they are a married couple now, so it's totally normal for her to creep on him while he snoozes. We flash back to the night before when Raze was ready to get down and dirty as Fleo's wifey. But Fleo ain't fully accepting this whole situation yet, so he refuses to spend the night with her. It kinda hurts Raze, but Fleo reassures her that it ain't because he doesn't like her. There's just a bunch of steps they gotta take before they start making babies. So for now, he plans to crash in the hallway, giving Reyes the room all to herself. But Reyes comes back with the argument that if Fleo keeps refusing to sleep in the same room, Banished and the others will start smelling something fishy about their marriage. So Fleo's gotta suck it up and stay with her while they're here. But even if the bedroom activities are off the table, Reyes still wants to do nice things for Fleo. So she offers to help him get dressed for the day. Fleo don't really need her help, but he figures it's a harmless gesture, so he goes along with it as she takes off his shirt. Just then, Banished walks in and feels like she just walked in on something she shouldn't have, and she bounces out of there real quick. Later that day, they started the training they agreed on. But when Banished comes face to face with a freaking giant boar, she bolts as soon as it charges at her. The warrior tries to take over as the damage dealer, but she swings once and runs out of moves because that's all she knows how to do. Before she gets skewered, Reyes tells Bolano to quit being useless and use her magic to help. So she busts out a defensive spell that blocks the boar's attack. Then Fleo tells Bairelli to take a shot at the boar, but all the arrow manages to do is tickle the damn thing. This team is straight up trash when it comes to fighting. Fleo's got a ton of work ahead of him if he wants to train them till they're halfway decent. Since they're gonna be sticking around for a while, Fleo offers the girls a room in the house because he's the proud owner now, thanks to that psycho bear quest. He can't have them crashing on the floor forever after all. And they're hella grateful for his kindness. Just then Reyes rolls in and announces that lunch is served and they should all chow down. But here's the thing, Reyes has never set foot in a damn kitchen before, so the whole concept of cooking is like a foreign language to her. Fleo ain't trying to get food poisoning, so he suggests cooking up the meat. But he ain't letting Reyes anywhere near it because she's guaranteed to turn it into a pile of ash. Banished steps up and offers to help Fleo in the kitchen. After some time, a full-on meal is finally ready. Everyone's thinking it looks bomb, so they shower Fleo with compliments for his mad cooking skills. But Fleo knows he can't take all the credit because Banished is surprisingly good in the kitchen too. Reyes starts getting all jealous because she's supposed to be the wifey here. Banished gets a bit embarrassed by all the praise and spills that she's actually better at cooking than swinging a sword, which everyone already knew. Her noble family fell on hard times, so they couldn't afford no fancy chef. Banished had to learn to whip up her own food. Everyone digs in, and damn, the food tastes as good as it looks. But Reyes is still skeptical because she's strictly anti-vegetarian. But since Fleo made that salad, she decides to give it a shot, and it ain't that bad. Later that day, Fleo takes all the extra boars they bagged while hunting to the guild to get them evaluated. And damn, he's starting to turn heads because he makes taking down those massive beasts look like a freaking walk in the park. While they wait for the guild to assess their loot, Reyes asks Fleo if it's cool for her to head into town for a bit. He's cool with it because she says she got some business to handle. Plus, he gets approached by this guild employee named Lilith who wants to chat anyway. So they agree to meet back at the house later. Once Fleo bounces, Reyes is all determined to start her own training arc of becoming a gourmet master. Meanwhile, Fleo's chatting it up with Lilith, who spills that our boy has become hella famous in town for his mind-blowing achievements. Word of his strength has even made its way to the palace, and they're offering him a job to work under the hero. They want to make him an honorary knight and help take down the demon lord once and for all. But the thought of dealing with the palace again is giving Fleo major bad vibes. To the folks in this world, taking down the demon lord is like the highest honor ever. But Fleo ain't from this world, so why should he give a damn? He straight up tells Lilith that he ain't interested in any hero business and has no plans to join the fight against the demon lord. After saying his piece, he just bounces. When he steps outside, he finds Reyes waiting for him, but she looks like she got caught in a freaking fire. Fleo's mad worried about her well-being. Turns out while she was away, she tried taking a cooking class to win Fleo's heart, but she underestimated how damn hard it is to follow a recipe, and things didn't turn out so hot. But she ain't giving up. She's determined to keep trying till she can whip up a meal that ain't total shit. Meanwhile, back at the castle, Blondie is hell-bent on recruiting these badass adventurers he heard about in the guild. He wants them to do all the hero work for him. As a result, Fleo and Reyes keep getting unsolicited requests to join the hero's crew, but they shut them down every single time. It's gotten so damn annoying that Reyes is thinking about getting a little violent with the rejections so they get the message. But Fleo knows the messengers are just doing their job, so they shouldn't suffer the consequences. Plus, they gotta get back to training Banished and the others. As he heads to the backyard, he finds Blossom taking care of the garden. The damn thing's thriving under her watch because she wants to show her appreciation for all the help Fleo's given them. It's nice and all, but she's been using it as an excuse to avoid training her sword skills for way too long now. Out in the damn forest, Reyes is trying to get Baireli to unleash some arrows on a living target like a proper archer. But Baireli's too damn chicken to shoot any arrows at the actual chickens because she thinks they're too damn cute. So Reyes tries to convince her with a counterargument. They can chow down on some fried chicken if she hits the mark. But Baireli still ain't buying it, so her training hits a dead end. Meanwhile, Bolano's about to pass the hell out from using up all her mana. So Fleo comes up with this genius idea to make her a ring that boosts her magic capacity. That way she won't collapse every time she uses her magic. Bolano's grateful for it, but she lets her intrusive thoughts and feelings for Fleo take over for a second. She tries slipping the ring on her ring finger, but Reyes shuts that down real quick because she ain't tolerating no competition as Fleo's wifey. Just then, Banished freaks out and calls for Fleo because she's losing to a freaking caterpillar. But Reyes shuts that down too because she ain't letting Banished steal any more attention from Fleo. After their training sesh, everyone heads inside to grub. And even though Reyes cooked the food, it actually looks edible now. Fleo asks when the hell she learned to cook so well. Reyes admits she took a boatload of cooking classes and accidentally set a bunch of buildings on fire. But it was all worth it to be able to cook for Fleo. Meanwhile, out in the woods behind the house, there's this demon girl spying on them. She's dead certain that Reyes is the same feared and powerful demon she knew, but damn, she's all fawning over a human. So something ain't adding up for her. Lucky for her, she's about to get her answers because Reyes finds out Uluminas has been spying on her. They bring Uluminas inside, and Fleo pours her a cup of tea. But Reyes ain't interested in entertaining their uninvited guest. She straight up asks Uluminas what the hell she's doing here because she sure as hell didn't come to play as a confederate of the Dark One. She explains that she was sent to check out this area, but then she saw Reyes here, so she wanted to figure out what she was up to. Reyes in turn explains that she is living here with her husband now, and Uluminas is straight up shocked to hear that Reyes already got married. But she ain't planning on messing things up for her. Uluminas takes another sip of her tea, and she can't wrap her head around how much Reyes has changed since she's been gone. And here's the other thing that's weird to her. Fleo, he's sitting there all calm and collected, even though he's chilling with a demon confederate of the Dark One. Uluminas can't even analyze his stats with her skill. And even the Dark One can't hide his stats from her. So Fleo must be a serious force to be reckoned with. She switches the topic and starts talking about how things have been changing around here lately. Like the Delavza forest suddenly got wiped clean of all magical beasts overnight. Hearing this, Fleo finally remembers the purification spell he used back in the day. And since all his other spells are crazy powerful, his purification must have worked its magic on the whole damn forest. Uluminas needs a second to process what he just said, because if he really purified the forest, that means he's the one who wiped out Fengaril and his entire army. In other words, he's the reason Fenris's brother bit the dust. Uluminas can't even believe that Fenris would choose to marry him, knowing he's the one responsible for her brother's death. Fenris tells Uluminas to shut the hell up for a second, because she's getting real tired of all these accusations against Fleo. But when Fleo asks if she knew he killed Fengaril, Reyes confirms it. There ain't that many folks in the kingdom who can use purification magic on such a massive scale, so it was pretty damn obvious that Fleo was the culprit. But in the end, Fengaril was a proud warrior. He wouldn't want folks mourning his death or any of that crap, even if it was caused by a crazy powerhouse like Fleo. Besides, if he didn't want to die, he shouldn't have let himself get killed. Reyes fell in love with him for his strength, so no matter who he's killed, her feelings for him ain't changing one damn bit. Right then they clock that their whole convo got eavesdropped by the knights. So now they know Reyes is the same demon Fenris who nearly offed them in the beginning. So they're all freaking terrified of her, especially Baireli. Seeing Fleo as a major threat to the Dark Army, Uluminas steps up and asks for a match with him to see how strong Fenris's man really is. She's thinking she can take them both down at once this way. But Reyes ain't letting that shit slide because she thinks Uluminas is trying to steal her man. Eventually, Fleo agrees to the match, and they set the rules so magic is allowed. and it goes on till someone gives up. Ulluminez is all confident, jumping in the air, casting spells from up and down to distract Fleo. But that dude dispels them like it's nothing and hits her back with his own spell, leaving Ulluminez all tied up in the air. She can't move or defend herself, so she surrenders. Next day, Fleo has a much-needed talk with the knights and apologizes for not spilling about Ray's true identity because he thought it would bring trouble. He gets it if they want to snitch to the castle. But Fenris tells them she's all in with Fleo now and ain't part of the Dark Army no more. Balirosa agrees that they should normally report this to the castle. But since Ray's ain't a threat and has been helping them out for the past month, they might just forget to mention it to the king. Ray's is stoked to hear that, but then she peeps outside because Ulluminez is back, acting like a sore loser. She rolls up with a whole damn dragon army, trying to take down Fleo. But instead of fear, Fleo's just straight up amazed because it's his first time seeing dragons in the flesh. Ulluminez orders them to unleash hellfire on him, so Fleo counters by blowing them all away with his magic. Just like that, the Dark One's strongest dragon army becomes a pile of lifeless bodies. The few that survive haul ass because they ain't getting paid enough for this shit. Blossom tells Fleo he's freaking incredible for taking on all them dragons at once. If she knew it'd be that damn easy, she would have chucked her hoe at one of them to snag that Dragon Slayer title. But Fleo doesn't see no reason why she can't give it a shot. He tells her to chuck her hoe at one of the dragons, and as she does, he buffs the attack, making it powerful enough to pierce through the dragon's neck. She manages to snag the title, and the others all rush to Fleo asking for his help too. But all the dragons already dipped, so they're out of luck. Meanwhile, Lord Gaul of the Dark Army watches all this shit go down, straight up shocked that Fleo's packing so much power, even though he ain't the hero. So he decides to step up and personally challenge him to put an end to this madness. A while later, Fleo throws up a barrier around the crib so they can peep when demons roll up. Ray's gets all pissed just thinking about that damn annoying cat. So Fleo gotta tell her to chillax. But Ray's gets even more heated because she thinks he's trying to defend her. But Fleo just remembers how she straight up accused him of taking out Ray's bro and his whole crew. It's messing with his head, but he brushes it off and tells Ray's it's no biggie. Meanwhile, Blossom can't tear her eyes away from her screen. She can't even believe she scored the title of Dragon Slayer. The girls are in awe of the badass hoe that slayed the dragon, but Balirosa says it's time to hunt for today's share of magic beasts. Their admiration then goes to her for putting in work every damn day to stay trained. The girls got mad love and respect for Fleo because he's been holding it down for them, so they all eager to level up and get stronger too. But while they busy admiring Balirosa, we see she's actually crying. Getting that Dragon Slayer title is every adventurer's dream, so she feeling down because she feeling left behind. If she had snagged that title instead, she could have brought back her family's noble status. Then they might have been chilling in the capital again, just like when her pops was a knight. Out of nowhere, some dude shows up looking for his homie. Balirosa's skeptical because he looking all underprepared in a forest full of magic beasts. Dude explains he looking for Fleo's wifey, but that straight up confirms to Balirosa that he gotta be part of the Dark Army. She demands to know what the hell he want with someone who cut ties with the Dark Army. Depending on his answer, they might have to throw down and battle it out. Dude admits he's part of the Dark Army, but he says he just there to check on Fenris. He decides to dip, but asks them to pass on a message to Fenris. If she ever want to chat about the past, he down to have a conversation. Before he bounces, he reveals his name as Gozel. Fleo and Ray's show up, so Balirosa tells them everything. Ray's knows exactly who the dude is and can't believe he picked such an obviously fake-ass name. Fleo explains they came because his barrier caught a demon. Balirosa's straight up shocked to hear that his display screen said the person she was talking to was the Dark Lord. Ray's confirms it, dropping the bomb that his real name is Gaul. Balirosa starts trembling in fear after hearing that. She did raise her sword to the Dark Lord, so she damn sure the demons will be coming for her. The next day, Gozel gets invited to chill at their house, and the dude is straight up shocked at how chill Fleo is around him. Balirosa ain't used to Gozel's presence, so she's straight up terrified. Then Gozel spills that his visit has something to do with Ulluminez. Balirosa's part of the meetup too, but she's clueless as hell about why. She's scared as hell and can't wrap her head around why she gotta sit next to the Dark Lord. Ray's jumps to the conclusion that the Dark Lord there for revenge, but shockingly, he reveals that he actually came to ask Fleo to join the Dark Army. Fleo calmly shuts that shit down, and Gozel ain't expecting that. Gozel assumes Fleo is living in the forest because he want to oppose the humans. But that ain't it. Fleo just doesn't think it makes sense for him to ride with humans just cause he is one of them. On top of all that, Fleo straight up spills to the Dark Lord that he ain't even from this world. He doesn't even know why the humans and demons are beefing. Ray's never bothered explaining it to him because Fleo simply don't want to fight. Gozel admits it's unlikely anyone knows the true reason behind the war. That shit has been going on for 500 years, starting back when the first Dark One took charge. The first Dark Lord came from some other world to take over this one. Demons who were getting oppressed by humans at the time accepted him. Ending a war that's been going on this long ain't gonna be easy, but the ideals passed down through 12 generations of Dark Ones have changed. Gozel, the current Dark Lord, ain't got no interest in ruling the world. But then Gozel busts out a crazy amount of power. Dude declares he's still the king of the demons, and he can't let someone who poses such a threat to the demons fall into the hands of the humans. Gozel warns Fleo that he better take that as advice and join the Dark Army. But Fleo stays calm and explains that Gozel's seriously overestimating his abilities. Plus, he ain't planning on picking a side in this war. Gozel eases up on his power and finds it amusing to see how determined Fleo is. He impressed and points out that Fleo probably had the same determination when he rejected the king. Gozel gets ready to bounce, but makes it clear he ain't given up. Gozel can't wrap his head around how freaking crazy it is to come across a human who ain't even flinching at his badass self. And he ain't just talking about Fleo, he talking about Ballyrosa too. The other girls roll up checking on Ballyrosa, wondering if she is good, but she's straight up frozen from shock. When she wakes up the next morning, Ballyrosa shocked as hell to see Gozel back in the crib, munching on Ray's breakfast. Ray's straight up tells him to leave once he done eating. Gozel keeps insisting that Ballyrosa join him, but she dips to get dressed instead. Later Ballyrosa tries to sneak away, but Gozel tracks her down. Dude wanna talk, but she bounces off to training. Day after day, Gozel keeps showing up at the crib, and Ballyrosa keeps coming up with excuses to dip out. But Gozel ain't taking the hint, he just admire how hard she working. At the castle, the king gets word about some mysterious demon visiting Fleo all the time. King gets all pissed because Fleo has been ignoring his summons, and now seems like he's riding with the Dark Army. King plans to send soldiers to snatch up Fleo, but the princess tells him to hold up. She thinks if they wrong about Fleo, their actions might push him straight into the arms of the Dark Army. She reckons they should listen to what Fleo gotta say and find a middle ground. King shuts her down, and the Golden Hero shows up to back him up. He says they gotta send soldiers to force Fleo to obey their orders. At the demon's castle, Uliminas warns Gozel that going to Fleo's crib so much by himself can be dangerous. But Gozel tells her he trusts Fleo way more than the human king. If there's a chance to get someone as powerful as Fleo on their side, then he swears he gonna do everything he can to convince him. Uliminas mentions the soldiers waiting for his orders, but Gozel ain't made up his mind yet about when they gonna make their move. When he bounces, Uliminas all concerned because some demons talking shit about the Dark One visiting Fleo so much. She wonder if Gozel really going there just for Fleo. Back at the crib, Fleo explains he been thinking about selling gear made from dragon scales. Dude already got a prototype going, but it gonna take more work before it ready to sell. Fleo dead set on making this business successful so they can support themselves. Ray's is wondering if Fleo making the right move by turning down the king's offer. She thinks he could be stacking mad cash and unleashing his abilities to the max. She even wonders if he ain't down to throw down with the demons because of her, but Fleo sets the record straight. He ain't as nice as she thinks he is. The real reason holding him back is that once he discovered his insane power, he ain't feeling the need to fight unless it's absolutely necessary. Ray's point out that's what being kind is all about, and it's one of the things she respects about him. Right then Fleo gets the word that someone has arrived. It's the golden-haired hero, and Fleo gotta tell Ray's not to kick his white ass. This dude lays out two options for Fleo, either become his underling or be labeled as a snitch for the Dark Army, meaning the hero gonna take him out right then and there. The hero feeling all satisfied with his little speech, claiming it's one of the top 3 climactic moments of his whole life. He assuming Fleo's so stunned by his vibes that he can't even speak. He don't blame him, because the hero dead certain that he is gonna become a legend in this world. All they gotta do is take down the Dark Lord, with Fleo as his subordinate. Fleo apologized for the hero bringing a whole crew to his crib, but he straight up explains he ain't choosing sides in this war no matter what. The hero call him a traitor, but the girls point out that this is tyrannical behavior. The hero threatened them saying he'll come after them if they help Fleo. He only offers them freedom if they help him convince Fleo. Fleo get dead serious as he realize he ain't got no other choice. He ain't picking no side, but he ain't down to throw down right here. They gotta leave to somewhere else to handle this. The hero is straight up shocked, but Rei's totally cool with leaving. The other girls want to come with them too, because living together made them realize fighting demons might not be the right move. They are all on the same page, but the hero points out ain't no way they could escape all the soldiers surrounding them. The hero is trying to flex on Fleo, but damn, he is caught off guard when Fleo busts out a teleportation spell. When the spell ends, everyone's jaws drop because they straight up vanished. It ain't just them either, Fleo somehow teleported the whole damn house and fields with them. It's some next level mind-blowing stuff, because who would thought Fleo got teleportation skills on that insane scale? Right then they peep the demon that has been visiting Fleo showing up, so the hero give the order to capture his black ass. Gozel peeps everything gone and he loses it, blaming the humans for it all. Dude's rage is off the charts, talking about teaching the humans a lesson. In his fury, Gozel commands all his demon forces to gather up and launch a full-on attack on the kingdom of Clyrode. This is exactly what Ulaminas has been waiting for, and she tells all the demons to get ready. The human soldiers peeping the darkness approaching, so the golden hero straight up flees trying to save his sorry ass. Meanwhile, all the girls are tripping out over Fleo's teleportation, because everything is back to how it was before. But Fleo break it down, saying they are near a town west of the royal capital now. They are pretty damn far from the capital, so the girls feel relieved because neither the hero nor the dark dude's gonna track them down. No one is more relieved than Balirosa, since the dark one is really into her. Fleo apologizes to Rei's for putting her through all this, but she's just happy riding by Fleo's side. Rei's declare they're gonna throw down a feast to celebrate their new house, so everybody rushes inside. After a while, word gets to the king that the demons are straight up wrecking their defenses, and that magic barrier up north won't hold up much longer. The king gets hella furious and wonders what the hell that golden hero is even doing. This so-called hero keeps locking himself up in that southern stronghold, so the king calls him in. They tell him they gotta gather all the damn mages in the kingdom to cast some purification spell. But the king knows that shit comes with serious consequences. Time's running out, and they can't rely on the hero, so they need the king to make a damn decision. Meanwhile, the Dark Lord gives the order to pull back his troops. Ulaminas says it's the perfect time to keep pressing their advantage. But the Dark Lord predicts that those humans will soon bust out their purification crap, and they can't let their troops get near that shit. We see that the Dark Lord's right, as the king and a bunch of mages cast that purification spell. Back with our hero. He comes home to find Rei's acting even friendlier than usual. Fleo was out looking for stores to sell his gear to and checking out armor prices. Baireli's been thinking about raising horses so she can rent them out for cart pulling. She thinks it could be a steady source of income and wants to chip in for the household expenses. Blossom's thinking the same and plans to sell the veggies from the garden. Balirosa and Bolano feel like shit because they got no talent and therefore no income, but Rei's tells them not to stress. She says taking care of the pack is the pack leader's wife's job. But Balirosa ain't sure how she feels about being part of a pack. Fleo reassures them not to worry because they can just focus on getting better at their combat skills. Back at the castle, we find out the Dark Army retreated because of that purification shit. The magic's gonna last for 3 months, and the Dark Army can't even step foot in that purified land till then. The problem is a bunch of their mages are knocked out cold because they used up all their magic juice. The king is one of them, so the princess steps up and says she'll handle his royal duties till he recovers. Then she shocks the hell out of everyone with her first order, to strip that golden hero of his hero status for the kingdom. Their whole nation's fighting for its damn life, and this dude's been doing jack shit, so it's only right that he loses his status. They ain't got enough mages to summon another hero, so the princess decides to hit up the oracle for some guidance. Turns out the hero ain't taking that news too well. He claims to be the chosen one, and declares that they will beg him to come back when the Dark One attacks, but they just ignore his ass. That night, Fleo points out how much Rei's has been holding it down, and she declares that she would do anything for him. Fleo thanks her for being there, knowing it must be tough for her being around humans all the time, but she falls asleep before he can finish. Fleo starts thinking about how he was thrown into this world all alone. But thanks to Raze, he's got a home and can make it through. The next day, the girls hype up Fleo and Raze to go on a date. Fleo acts all shy about it, but they remind him they're married. On the date, they have a blast doing all sorts of activities. After a meal, Raze wants to make the best of the time they were given, so they go to the town market. Fleo offers to get her whatever she wants because she has been so helpful. Raze reveals she's never been given a gift before, so she excitedly looks for something. Fleo picks out a brooch and tells her she looks beautiful. Dude gets all embarrassed though and quickly says he was talking about the brooch. Later that night, the other girls start wondering what's up with Raze because she's been staring at that brooch for hours. It's a clear sign their date went well, and all the girls are low-key jealous. Now Fleo wakes up all shocked because Raze has made her way into his bed. They had a long day, so he lets her stay, but he knows he won't be able to sleep. Back at the castle, we find the hero has straight up broken into the treasury. He's pissed about the princess taking away his hero status, but he's glad to hear Tsuuya still calls him a hero. She's got faith he'll come back to his role someday, so she'll keep serving him. Dude ain't down to live as a regular old commoner in this world, so he's on the hunt for something that'll help him kick the Dark One's ass. He's the chosen hero, so once he defeats the Dark One, he can live his life as a damn champion. He starts thinking about how Fleo can use magic he can't, and he wishes he had more power. Out of nowhere, this voice straight up says if the hero wants power, he gotta set her free. The voice leads him to some secret room and tells him she can grant him any damn wish he wants. So the hero grabs his sword, but Tsuuya can't hear the voice and it's messing with him. The voice starts provoking him to draw the sword, asking if he's scared, but hell no, he's insulted by that question. So he goes ahead and draws the sword, unleashing this crazy burst of power. Then this spirit named Haya shows up and says he's the one who freed her, so she's gonna grant him 3 wishes. She promises to give him whatever he desires, and he gets this sneaky smile on his face, ready to ask for his first wish. Meanwhile, back at the castle, the princess meets up with the oracle. She's explaining how messed up this situation is because they gotta find a solution before the effects of the purification spell wear off. But all of a sudden, these weird collars pop up on everyone's necks, interrupting their conversation. The princess knows exactly what this means, so she sends troops to the treasury to catch the intruder. The oracle drops the knowledge that those collars are called the collar of sacrifice. There's some spirit out there granting wishes but taking people's heads as payment. Everyone's straight up shocked because who the hell would agree to that? The princess spills that a long time ago, the king of Clyrode asked the spirit to defeat the Dark One. But in exchange for granting the wish, it's said that half of all living things on the continent got sacrificed. And then to seal the spirit away, the mages in the kingdom combined their powers at the cost of even more sacrifices. But now someone's gone and broken that seal, asking the spirit for a wish. Everyone's freaking terrified about losing their heads, so the princess says they only got until the spirit grants the wish. She asks the oracle for a solution, and the old lady does her thing. She reveals they gotta find the true hero, and this hero's already been summoned. Everyone realizes this must be the adventure the king was trying to recruit as an ally. The oracle spills about where they can find the hero, but the princess ain't down to split up their forces protecting the land just to go look for him. Instead, she says that she will go herself. Now we back with Fleo, and he out here trying to sell his dragon scale shield. The shop owner is straight up impressed, saying he heard a rumor about a ton of dragon meat showing up at the butcher in town. Fleo ain't spilling about the dragons, but he does mention that his materials came from the same source. This owner's all hyped up about that info and offers to pay whatever Fleo asks for the shield. In return, he wants Fleo to bring him any other goods he gets from that source. Fleo's down with the deal, but now he needs a solid dealer to sell goods made from magic beast materials. The owner's happy to help and tells him about the other dealers. Ballyrosa's straight up amazed by Fleo because he's showing off mad skills. Not only did he craft a dragon shield, but he also locked down a dealer and a steady route to sell more of them. Raze probably explains that Fleo used to be a merchant, so Ballyrosa's all jelly because Raze got him as her husband. Raze ain't feeling that vibe though, so Ballyrosa explains she just wishes she had a man like him. Reyes tries to cheer her up by saying the Dark One's into her, but that ain't helping. Reyes is stoked to see Fleo making moves and accomplishing so much, but it also bums her out a bit because it means they'll have less time to chill together. Reyes got one request though, and she asks Fleo to spend time with her whenever he gets the chance. Fleo agrees, but then they both get straight up shocked when Fleo's system warns them about a spirit coming their way. Haya appears before them, so Fleo wonders why she's looking for him. We then see that the hero made a wish for the spirit to end Fleo's life because he got humiliated. And this spirit wastes no time, starting her attack to grant the hero's wish. But Fleo's system activates its auto-defense magic. Then Reyes jumps in front to shield Fleo. And that's when Fleo's horrified because Reyes takes the attack head-on. Reyes begs Fleo to run and her brooch gets shattered. Haya's all disappointed because she missed, so she keeps going at them. But Fleo's auto-defense magic keeps them protected, and he can only plead for Reyes to be alright. Haya's impressed that he can block all her basic offensive spells, so she gets ready to bust out something more powerful. But Reyes is in rough shape, so Fleo tries to use healing magic. He's straight up horrified when the spell gets cancelled because Reyes' injury is way too severe for the spell to handle. And there ain't no other spells that can substitute for heal. So Fleo gets hella upset when he sees that lifeless look on Reyes' face. Haya decides to hit them with a spell called Origin of Light to deal some serious damage. But she's once again impressed when they come out unharmed. And just when things seem intense, Fleo's system announces that he's got the Origin of Light and Darkness magic. Balirosa's all shocked when she hears how freaking furious Fleo is when he tells Haya that she's gonna pay. Fleo has never been so angry, as he swears that he will get revenge. He wanted to hold it down for Reyes because she had his back when he was straight up alone in this messed up world. And he might have suggested getting hitched just so she'd be his slave, but damn, she way happier than he ever imagined. And even though she knew Fleo was the one who took out her brother, she still chose to love him. But even after all she did for him, he still couldn't protect her. So right now, the only thing on his mind is making Haya pay for her actions. Fleo taps into his time magic to bring Reyes' body back to its original state, although it isn't able to bring the dead back to life. And damn, Haya is shocked that a regular human can use such insane magic. But she ain't got much time to process that because Fleo straight up punches her in the face. Haya gets launched backwards, and she can't believe someone got the audacity to punch a being who mastered all types of magic. But Fleo doesn't give a damn about her fancy title and straight up stomps her into the ground. She tries to use Origin of Darkness magic to defend herself against Fleo, but he straight up cancels that shit out and grabs her by the head. She can't believe Fleo got the power to cancel it out. So as he lifts her up by the head, she uses her appraisal on him and sees that he got an infinite number of stats at his disposal. Fleo then slams her into the wall and delivers a gut punch that knocks the shit out of her. And no matter how much defensive magic she throws, it doesn't do shit to stop his relentless attacks. At the same time, it looks like Reyes wakes up, and Balirosa checks if she is good. She says she is fine, but she wondering what went down because she ain't got a scratch on her body, even though she should be 6 feet under. Balirosa explains that Fleo used his magic to help her recover. But right now, he is so damn furious that he beating down Haya non-stop. And if you thought Reyes was gonna step in and stop him, you dead wrong because she loving it. It brings her joy that Fleo's showing no mercy for her sake. And physical attacks ain't supposed to harm a djinn. But Fleo is so damn powerful that rules don't mean shit to him. He could probably kill her with his bare fists. But Reyes remembers when Fleo saved her ass and straight up told her he ain't into all that fighting stuff. He ain't down to kill nobody who surrendered. So now she feeling all confused about Fleo doing this for her sake. By now Haya got her confidence knocked to the curb, so as Fleo grabs her neck to finish her off, she begging him to spare her life. But mercy ain't an option because Fleo's still convinced she murdered Reyes. But before he can break Haya's neck, Reyes comes running up behind him, saying he needs to chill. She said that it's real nice to see him getting so fired up for her, but she can't let him compromise his principles for her sake. He has this rule about not taking out someone who surrendered, and she doesn't want Fleo to lose himself. Fleo snaps out of it and realizes Reyes ain't a cold corpse because her body is still warm. They hug it out while Haya is still knocked out on the floor. Meanwhile, the princess just rolled up near the town looking for Fleo. But the mages she used for teleportation looking hella weak, barely recovered from their mana drain. The princess actually gives a damn about her people, so she tells the guards to make sure their mages stay safe while she goes hunting for Fleo. But it ain't gonna take long because they just gotta ask around for him. Right then, the sacrifice collars get wrecked, and the princess knows it only means one thing: Jin failed to deliver the wish. Back at the castle, things looking real dark for the blonde loser because the treasury all locked down by guards. No way for him or Suya to make an escape. He running out of dumb ideas, and Suya is scared shitless because if they get caught, they will surely be executed for what they've done. The blonde loser can't believe he got played by Haya, thinking she gonna grant his damn wish. But then this other voice echoes out of the creepy hidden room. Even it shocked Haya couldn't come through with the wish. The voice takes control of Suya's body because she has been floating around without a physical form for a century. First thing she do is change Tsuuya's outfit to something she prefer. Blondie still trying to figure out what the hell going on. So the woman introduces herself as Damalinas, the Grand Magus of Midnight. And since Haya failed to grant his wish, she gonna hook him up with the power he been itching for. Although she never said he going to be cool with how he getting that power. Damalinas hops on that beast Blondie and bounces out of the treasury, all set to get back at the damn nobles who locked her away. But as she dips, she peeps the teleportation circle the princess used to look for Fleo, and figures it must have been their escape plan because they knew she was coming. So she jets off to wipe out every damn noble in the land, even their kids and grandkids. Meanwhile, Fleo just patched up Haya, and once she wakes up, she straight up begs for forgiveness because she ain't down to throw hands with Fleo anymore. She realizes Fleo saved her sorry ass, but that's only because Reyes managed to survive in the end. Now they gotta figure out what the hell to do with her, because handing her over to the guards won't do jack since she's stronger than them. Fleo thinks they could just lock her up in the castle treasury like before. But Haya doesn't get how the hell Fleo knows where she came from. He knows because while Haya was knocked out, he used his spell to dive into her memories and saw everything from the moment she got unsealed to Blondie's wish to have Fleo taken out. He knows she's a djinn who grants wishes, but it comes at a damn high price. So if they just send her back to the castle, the same crap might go down again one day. So Reyes suggests they make Haya Fleo's servant. Fleo tries to brush off the idea, but Reyes shuts him down and mentions she damn well knows he ain't looking for no servant. But they can't trust the castle to keep Haya under control, so they gotta keep her close. Plus Reyes loves how strong she is, so Fleo gives in and agrees to let her join them. But he asks Reyes if she's really cool with it because Haya kinda killed her back there. Reyes is pissed no doubt, but at the end of the day, it was her own weakness that let Haya beat her in the first place, so she can't hold a grudge. Since Reyes ain't mad at Haya, it doesn't make sense for Fleo to stay pissed forever. He reaches out his hand and says as long as Haya promises to never take another life again, he forgives her. Haya is straight up shocked because humans hold onto hate and resentment like it's their life force, all because of their desires that make them willing to sacrifice others. She grabs his hand and swears to serve him with her whole damn being, giving him every ounce of power she's got. And Fleo apologizes for going too hard on her during their fight. But Haya tells him there's no need to apologize because honestly she kinda enjoyed it. Reyes can sense some Fleo-related shenanigans brewing in Haya's mind, but Haya denies it. Putting that aside, Fleo realizes he's caused quite a mess in the town. But since time manipulation magic worked with bringing Reyes back to life, he figures it might be able to restore the town to its original state too. However, before he activates it, Haya asks him not to use that kind of magic again. She explains that time manipulation is only meant for individuals within a certain range. If not used carefully, there can be discrepancies between those within the range and those outside of it, leading to a whole lot of unexpected consequences. As long as Haya is the one using it, she can narrow down the target to just one individual. But it was never intended for humans to use. So Fleo wonders why he has access to a spell like that. And Haya believes it's because he's a supreme being. As a supreme being, his skills are limitless, and with limitless skills, he can tap into a magic called Epiphany. It lets him learn any magic and all related types of magic if it's used against him once. So when Haya attacked him, he learned all the magic a djinn can use. But as she mentioned earlier, messing with time manipulation magic is hella dangerous. So she asks him to refrain from using it again. Fleo agrees not to play around with that spell so recklessly, and instead, he decides to use a repair spell to fix all the damage in the town. Later, Fleo heads back home and introduces Haya to the rest of the girls. They're all freaked out by the idea of having someone as powerful as her living there, since Haya doesn't really have a place to call home. Fleo figured she might as well stay with them. But that doesn't exactly reassure the others. Banished steps in and says the room is ready for Haya, adding that she probably won't go around killing everyone as long as Fleo is around. That night, Fleo has a lot of soul searching to do because he broke his pacifism code today, and discovered he's some sort of supreme being. But just as he's lost in his thoughts, Banished finds him and asks if everything's alright since he's sitting all alone. He said he was fine and apologized to Banished for everything that happened that day since she must have been freaked out, but she said he had nothing to apologize for. Fleo admits he's got some insane power, but he's clueless about how to properly use it. Banished can't help him out either because wouldn't know what to do either. Lately, she's been realizing that some folks she thought were enemies are actually cool as hell, and some people she thought had her back turned out to be straight up trash. So she's confused as hell about why she's training to get stronger because she has no clue who she should fight. She's grateful she met Fleo and Ray's because they opened her eyes to the fact that life ain't all black and white. And chatting with her seems to lift Fleo's spirits a bit. Fleo heads to his room and spots Ray's deep in thought, so he asks her what's up. At first she doesn't say nothing, but then she grabs Fleo's hand and flips his ass onto the bed. And she asks if he's gonna go back to his original world. Fleo's mad confused by the sudden question, but based on what Haya said earlier, he's got all the spells that a djinn should have, which means he's got the power to go back if he wants. But if he's gonna dip, Ray's wants to roll with him. She doesn't care where they end up, as long as she's by his side. And after realizing how much she wants to be with him, Fleo straight up says he ain't going back to his original world. That place still got mad discrimination against demihumans, and it'd be hell for Ray's to live there. But he ain't leaving her behind either. He asks if she wants to be his real wife because earlier, when he thought Ray's was gone for good, he knows he had said it was just a fake marriage at the start, but now he knows he can't live without her. Ray's already saw him as her real husband, but it makes her hella happy to hear him say he wants to be with her. So for the first time they share a kiss. Shit was about to escalate further, but then Fleo realizes Haya's standing right there watching them. They both go red as hell, and Ray's asks how long Haya's been there. But Haya's been peeping since the moment Fleo sat his ass on the bed, so she saw everything go down. Fleo tells her to stop spying on him, but Haya doesn't see what the big deal is because breeding is a natural thing. But that doesn't change the fact that he doesn't want to be watched while he's getting busy. Even though the djinn problem got solved, the princess is still on the hunt in town for Fleo. But the only thing she knows about him is that he's supposed to be crazy powerful, so the locals ain't got a clue who she looking for. She dips from the store feeling bummed because she ain't scored any fresh leads on where the hell Fleo is at. Meanwhile, Fleo's grubbing down on a delicious meal with the crew. And this time Haya lends a hand too. Haya says she could have used magic to make everything in a snap, but Ray's wanted to do it the old-fashioned way to make it special. She takes pride in her cooking because she Fleo's wifey, but since Haya wanna help out, she can handle the cleaning and laundry from now on. Haya is all stoked to be useful, but that puts everyone else in a pickle because if Haya doing all the chores now, they back to being a bunch of freeloaders. But don't forget Blossom still holding it down with her crops, so at least she's still doing her part, and she gonna make sure Haya don't take that away from her. She gonna work even harder than before with a little help from Suya, Baireli trying to make herself useful by taking care of the stables. But it's turning out to be more than she bargained for. Meanwhile, Bolano going through a major soul-searching moment. She feel like she letting down her brother and father because she bounced from the Knight's Order before she could officially become a mage like them. Right now she ain't seeing a reason to keep pushing herself to get stronger. But when Fleo teaching her magic, he's staying patient as hell with her till she finally gets it. She don't want to waste the effort he putting into teaching her. Just then, Bolano and Baireli hear Blossom screaming her head off. So they rush outside and find out some crazy magic beast has somehow made its way into the fields, tearing them up for no reason. The beast charges at them, but Bolano's training paying off because she able to throw up a magic shield without running out of mana. Thanks to that, they both come out without a scratch. Banished be apologizing for causing this whole mess because she the one who brought the beast up in here. She was out hunting when she stumbled upon it, but it was acting way calmer than usual beast, so she couldn't bring herself to off it. But if that thing starts randomly attacking folks, she got no choice but to take it down for everyone's safety. But Baireli doesn't think it's gonna be necessary because she done figured out why the beast went bonkers in the first place. She tells Suya to morph back into his bunny form so the horse won't get spooked no more. Then she hooks up a rope to a shovel and tosses it in the horse's mouth before hopping on. With her janky bridle, she starts calming the horse till it stops going buck wild, and everyone gives her mad props for taming the magical beasts so smoothly. Bairelli feeling accomplished, and it gets her thinking. So she asks Ballyrosa if they can use the land around Fleo's house. Problem is that land belongs to the local lord, so they can't just claim it. But they could straight up buy the rights from the lord like Fleo did when he moved the house here. And that sparks an idea in Bairelli's head. Meanwhile, Fleo out in town chilling with Reyes, and she hyped they are finally getting some alone time with him. It ain't exactly a date because he just swung by to sell off some of his gear. But that's cool enough for Reyes. Fleo steps into the store to sell some lightweight armor, and the owner digging how well crafted it is, but he want to add some color to it. So he starts showing Fleo some flashy stones he could use for future batches. While Fleo handling business, Reyes waiting outside, and she can barely contain her excitement about how fine Fleo looks while he working. But then out of nowhere the sky goes dark, and that ain't a good sign. The princess and her squad just linked up when this magic circle appears in the sky, and this blonde monster swoops down on the village with Damalinas, ready to spill some blood. By now Fleo peeped that something ain't right, so he links back up with Reyes, who spills about the monster that popped up. Fleo ain't sure what caused this, but he dead set on keeping the townsfolk safe. Meanwhile, soon as Damalinas spots the princess, she is ready to attack. And to their credit, the guards stood their ground against her with bravery, but they way outmatched by her power. So Damalinas just busts out a small spell to blow them away. Haya pulls up to the scene right after picking up some heavy evil vibes in the area. And now that she's here, she tells Fleo that the monster going wild is actually a transformed human, and the real danger is that witch Damalinas chilling on the monster's shoulder. Back in the day, Damalinas was the top mage in Clyrode, but then she messed up big time by messing with dark magic. Before she could wreak havoc, the hero of that time took her down, but even with her body destroyed, her spirit stayed strong because of all that hatred. So they had to seal it up in a pedestal, which coincidentally is the same one holding Haya's sword seal. That's why Haya feels somewhat responsible for Damalinas breaking free. Even though it was hella dumb for the royal family to think it's a great idea to seal two major threats in the same place, Haya tells Fleo she wants to handle Damalinas herself, and Fleo ain't got no objections, but he reminds her that keeping the people safe gotta be the #1 priority. Meanwhile, Damalinas is straight up laughing at the princess because she only got one guard left standing. And even though his legs are shaking like crazy, he deserves a raise for his dedication. The princess recognizes Damalinas from the history books, so she knows she's in deep trouble. And Damalinas wants to savor every moment as she gets her revenge on the royal family. But before the princess gets flattened, Haya busts out a fire spell to shield her. Damalinas can't believe Haya got the nerve to stand in the way of her revenge, but Haya couldn't care less about Damalinas' plans because she's just doing what her master wants. Damalinas ain't backing down, so she throws a lightning spell at Haya, but it ain't doing a damn thing because Haya blocks it with one hand. Haya's at the peak of magic in this world, and since Damalinas is a being of this world, no matter how powerful she may seem, her magic won't ever harm Haya. Since magic ain't working, Damalinas switches it up and gets the blonde monster to try stomping on Haya while she casts another attack spell. But it still ain't affecting Haya in the slightest. Damalinas is straight up desperate, so she goes all out with her dark magic to make that blonde monster even bigger, so she can wreck shit up big time. And damn, it would have caused some serious chaos if her spell lasted more than 3 seconds. But Fleo comes running and saying he saw the evil-looking spell being cast, so he had to cancel that shit with his release magic. Haya says sorry to him for not taking care of Damalinas quickly enough and for causing him so much trouble. But Fleo ain't holding it against her at all. Haya still wants to make it right though, so she asks if she can finish off Damalinas. And once she gets the green light, she uses a spell to suck her soul out of Suya and turns her into a tasty piece of candy. Then Haya just straight up swallows that candy without even thinking twice. Fleo asks if it's cool for her to just munch on Damalinas like that, but she says it's perfectly safe since Damalinas is now sealed in her mindscape, where she's gonna get some serious torture, re-education until she changes her wicked ways. But forget about that for a second. They don't know what the hell to do about the blonde hero, because he's the one who caused this whole freaking mess. But Fleo don't want to waste his breath talking to him, so they're just gonna leave his ass for the castle guards to deal with. Just then Princess Elizabeth rolls up, and she's freaking relieved to finally find Fleo. She introduces herself and apologizes like crazy for all the disrespect he had to endure from the king and the previous hero. Fleo tells her she doesn't need to apologize, but he's surprised to hear they actually fired the blonde hero. That blonde hero already caused way too much trouble, so it was an easy call for Elizabeth to make. And now that the kingdom's without a hero, she's hoping Fleo will be down to roll with her back to the castle and become the true hero of the freaking kingdom. Fleo appreciates her polite ask, but he's still gotta turn down that responsibility. If she's looking for a hero, she better find someone who ain't afraid to use their power for the sake of humanity. But that person ain't gonna be Fleo because he don't really give a damn about humanity here. All he wants is to live in peace with his wife, so he ain't getting mixed up in any political shit at all. Fleo finally rolls back home, and the girls straight up swarm him with a favor to ask. They want him to think about expanding his turf because Bairelli wants to start catching and raising magical beasts, and Blossom wants to extend her farmland to grow more crops. With these new activities, they can haul in the extra veggies to town using horses and make extra profit selling them. Reyes likes the idea, but she's concerned that the magical beasts won't play nice because they're just humans, so she thinks it might be smarter to stick with horses instead. Bairelli thought about it, but keeping horses ain't cheap. Plus, if she lets the magical beasts roam around in a big open field for a while, they'll probably chill out and be peaceful. Fleo's down with the plan, so he says he'll go talk to the local lord to get permission, and the girls appreciate it. But Bairelli says they want to handle the negotiation and buying on their own to properly contribute to the house. Fleo doesn't have a problem with it, but land is pretty damn expensive, so he wants to make sure they know the price tag if they want to buy the land themselves. After some quick calculations, the girls are blown away by the numbers, and they can't believe land's still so damn expensive way out in the countryside. Fleo explains that since he arrived, demons stopped showing up, so the land prices shot through the roof because it's safer now. The girls start thinking about selling all their stuff to afford the land, but Fleo tells them ain't no need. He'll pay for the land himself since he'll be part of the house. He's gonna be part of the house anyway, so it's only fair the house owners buy it. He'd be happy if they just took care of the land for him, but the girls ain't feeling like they would be contributing much in that scenario. So instead, they settle on a deal to pay Fleo 30% of the profits they make from using his land. The girls are stoked with the arrangement, so they all jump right into working on the new land once Fleo seals the deal. And since we're talking about farming, Fleo suggests growing something that ain't normally farmed in this area to max out the profits. He can mess with the climate around the crops a bit, so it should be doable. But Blossom ain't feeling the idea because she thinks farming gotta be done by hand, and she ain't down with taking any extra help from Fleo because she wants to pay him back her own way. If she really doesn't want Fleo to get involved, then Haya steps up and offers to do the magical climate control instead. But Blossom still ain't having it because she believes magical farming ain't natural. Haya ain't gonna push the matter, but she does mention that doing it without magic is gonna be mad inefficient, and Bolano backs her up, telling Blossom to let Haya work her magic on the farm, because she's curious to see how it turns out. They peep that she all dressed up for something, so she spills that she was about to head out to the Magic Academy because they accepted her. She wanted to go there to relearn magic from the ground up, but after the application test, they thought she was legit enough to become a teacher there. And it's all thanks to Fleo teaching her how to be way less of a screw-up with magic. Fleo helped her see that magic can be used for more than just fighting, so she really wants Blossom to give growing crops with magic a shot too. And after a bit of persuading from Fleo, she finally gives in. Now everyone's doing their part to bring in some dough for the house, except for Balirosa, who's still technically a freeloader. While watching them, Fleo tells Reyes that he's also been thinking about something long-term, and his goal is to open up a shop one day. Reyes loves the idea and promises to spread the word to all her crew so they'll show up on the grand opening day, and she'll make sure they all take human forms because her homies are demons. It's kinda off topic, but Fleo takes the moment to give Reyes a gift he had made for her. It's a wedding ring, and he wants her to accept it to officially mark their marriage. And she happily agrees. In other news, that blonde loser got locked up in the castle dungeon, and he's likely gonna get executed for all his crimes of breaking into the castle treasury, unleashing some serious threats, and worst of all, having a hella annoying voice. A while later, Balirosa starts picturing herself in a freaking wedding dress, but then she spots Ulimanas showing up to congratulate her. And that's when she realizes this dream is straight up her worst nightmare because she's supposed to marry the Dark One. He tells her she can call him Gozel because there ain't no need to be all formal now that she's his wifey. And to make it a grand occasion, the whole demon army jumps in and tells her they're gonna step up their game to take over the world, just so they can give it to her as a wedding gift. But Banished starts backtracking like crazy because she doesn't want no damn world. But then the Dark One interrupts her and grabs her chin, going in for a kiss. And that's when she wakes up from this messed up nightmare. She's relieved it was all just a nightmare. But now she's wondering why the hell she's dreaming about the Dark One marrying her when she never even considered being in a relationship with him. Banished starts freaking out because she knows this means there's gonna be more drama with the Dark One real soon. But the others couldn't care less, telling her to keep her panic attack to herself because they trying to get some sleep. The next morning, Banished still feeling drained from all the screaming she did the night before. So while they're all baking together, Reyes asks if she's alright. Banished plays it off, saying she's cool, but she didn't get enough sleep because she's been having some messed up dreams lately. Even without Banished spilling the deets about who's in her dreams, Reyes figures out she must be lovesick. Reyes believes dreams show what a person desires the most. But here's the kicker, that means Banished must secretly want the Dark One, and she ain't trying to accept that. The other girls hear the word love, and they drop whatever they're doing to rush into the kitchen, all ears for the juicy details about who Banished is crushing on. Their detective skills are on point because they immediately figure out it's the Dark One she's secretly in love with. It makes sense to them because Gozel been showing up all the time just to see her. But Banished is still in denial, claiming Gozel was only here to meet up with Fleo, like it had nothing to do with her. However, the squad knows for a fact that Gozel was straight up here for Banished, because he would dip if she wasn't around. Banished got no more excuses to explain his actions, so she's coming to terms with the idea that he might actually be feeling her. The crew suggests she talks it out with Gozel, just like Fleo and Reyes did, thinking she could bridge the gap between humans and demons, although she may not want to marry him after just one day like Reyes did. Now that she brings it up, nobody's ever heard Reyes spill about how she fell for Fleo in the first place, and they all hella curious, so they gather around and ask her what made her fall for the dude. Turns out Fleo's chilling in the room and hears every damn thing Reyes says about him, and he's feeling hella embarrassed right now. But his embarrassment gets interrupted when one of his alarms goes off. He set up a barrier around the village to keep demons out and protect the town, but something managed to slip through. Haya confirms their suspicions, saying she senses the power of a demon nearby, so it's gotta be a sneaky demon that made it in. The crew asks if the village's gonna be in danger, but Fleo ain't sure if this demon's a threat yet because they ain't caused no harm and didn't wreck the barrier. So for now, he just wants everyone to keep an eye on the town and make sure nothing bad goes down. Meanwhile, over in the palace, the princess gets some crazy news. When Fleo turned down her offer to be the official hero of the kingdom, he made it clear he wanted to stay neutral in all the drama between humans and demons, but he gave her a bag of gold coins he got when he first rolled in and asked her to use them to rebuild the damaged city. The alarming part in all this is that the gold coins Fleo had ain't in circulation among the public. And as far as her advisor knows, they only gave those coins to one person before, and that would be Banished, the dude they summoned as a hero and then kicked to the curb right away. Her advisor suspects Fleo and Banished might be the same person. And if that's the real deal, it ain't a surprise why Fleo wants nothing to do with the royal family. Before anything else, she wants to formally apologize to Fleo for how they treated him when he first rolled up. While she's racking her brain trying to figure out what to do, a guard shows up and drops some messed up news. The dumbass Blondie and Suya somehow busted out of their cells and straight up flooded the damn castle. The guard's apologizing because he never thought Blondie had enough brain cells to come up with an escape plan. But the princess ain't pointing fingers at him and just asks him to let the adventurers all over the kingdom know they gotta track down Blondie. Elizabeth wishes they had just made Fleo the hero from the beginning, but there's no use dwelling on what could have been. Meanwhile, the guards are out there searching for Blondie and Suya, but they can't find a damn trace of them. As the guards bounce to search another spot, you can peep two figures chilling in the bushes. Suya's straight up pissed because they've been on the run since they busted out of those cells. Blondie's putting the blame on Haya for not being able to grant his wishes, so now he's looking like a straight up criminal. Suya points out that he straight up escaped prison and swiped shit from the castle treasury. But Blondie's still trying to make excuses for his actions. Yeah, they might have escaped prison, but he's claiming he never actually stole nothing. But that's straight up bull because in the middle of all the chaos, he jacked a magic bag. Accord to Blondie's twisted logic, that ain't stealing because he's just taking what the kingdom owed him. They agreed to hook him up with enough cash to live the good life once he was done being a hero. But that means he had to do something heroic in the first place. He thinks it's only fair he gets to keep at least one magic bag. But now that he thinks about it, he ain't even checked what's inside. He peeks inside the bag and damn to his horror, there ain't a single dollar in there. All he finds is a bottomless water pouch and a treasure chest. The treasure chest at least piques his interest, so our hero pulls it out, thinking maybe he can sell whatever's inside and make some money. But when he pops it open, he finds some shit called a drill bulldozer shovel. Right then, the guards catch wind of their position because of the noise they made, so they all start hauling ass straight for the damn bush they've been hiding in. But when they get to the damn bush, there ain't shit there. Blondie and Suya pulled a slick move and straight up dug their way underground. They're hella impressed with that shovel's power. No wonder it was locked away in the castle treasury. Perfect for keeping them hidden, but now they gotta figure out how the hell they gonna bounce from here. Meanwhile, over at the demon castle, Gozel gets a report from Uliminaz, telling him she still ain't found Fleo or his crew, specifically talking about Balirasa. Uliminaz apologizes and explains her intel squad has been searching high and low, but there's a chance Fleo might have dipped to another damn country. Gozel ain't buying that shit because even though Fleo's magic is crazy strong, teleportation magic only lets you go to places you've been before. Ain't been that long since Fleo got summoned to this world, so ain't no way he had time to visit another damn country. Even if that's the case, Uliminaz can't help but question why they putting so much focus on finding Fleo instead of pushing forward with the army and taking on the humans. No matter how badass that purification magic is, if they bring enough magical beasts to the border, they can flood the area with Melicium again and open up some damn paths into the kingdom. If they act now, they might even bring down the whole damn castle. Gozel's had enough and reminds Uliminaz that Fleo can handle purification magic all by his damn self. So even if they cut through the purification and attack his new house, he can just spam that damn spell and kick them out. That's why they gotta find Fleo first. But Uliminaz still worried because the people be getting restless over Gozel not fully committing to the war effort. So Gozel gets up from his throne and starts walking over to her. Uliminaz fears she did piss him off, but he actually just apologizes to her for not being down to do what she thinks is necessary. He don't see the point in sacrificing so many of their comrades just to beat some damn humans. Uliminaz finally understand his views now, but damn, someone was straight up eavesdropping on their conversation, and by the look of those glasses she's going to be trouble later on. She goes and spills to Uliminaz's brother Uagard, and he's pissed. Not only is Gozel holding back on pushing the army forward, but he's also talking about adding some human named Fleo to the demon army. The demon tries to explain that Fleo supposedly has some insane power, but Uagard couldn't care less and puts his foot down. It doesn't matter how strong he is, because if he's a human, they just gotta take him out. The demon agrees with his logic, so Uagard declares he's taking over as the Dark One because his brother ain't fit to lead the demons. Back in the kingdom, Fleo just finished up shopping with Raze, and even though his barrier sensed another breach, things seem pretty chill here, so he ain't too worried. And since they got some extra time before they gotta head home, Fleo suggests they hang out and grab some lunch. But as they're walking, they notice one of their favorite general supply stores is shutting down. They go over to ask Holdy what happened, and she confirms she's closing her store because she can't find a supplier no more. The place she used to go got wrecked in the last battle with the demon army. When they finally get to the restaurant they wish to eat at, they run into Balirasa, and since she's there, she offers to treat both of them to lunch. Raze ain't too thrilled because her romantic lunch with Fleo got ruined, and she's wondering what made Balirasa suddenly want to treat them to a meal. Balirasa explains that her adventure rank recently went up by 1, so she got more reward money, but deep down, she just wants to shake off her thoughts on the demon that's been tailing her. Regardless of her reasons, she still wants to thank Fleo and Raze for all they've done, so Fleo and Raze accept her offer. But before they can go in to eat, Haya shows up all panicky because some crazy powerful being is heading their way. She asks Fleo to step back so she can defend him. And to Balirasa's horror, they all realize it's Gozel. After Gozel shows up, they all head inside to eat, and he explains he came because his intel squad detected some funky magical signatures in the area. It's a damn lucky coincidence they all ended up meeting again. Dude also wants to have a private convo with Balirasa, so she starts stressing like he might be trying to pop the question or something. When the fruit comes through, Gozel starts talking about how he used to love human food and would straight up sneak into spots like this before he went all Dark Lord. just so he could enjoy it. Gozel asks Balirasa if she got skills in the kitchen, but Shorty's too embarrassed to answer. So Reyes jumps in and tells Gozel that Balirasa's a dessert queen, which only makes her even more red-faced. Fleo asks if Gozel's into human culture, and he doesn't deny it. But he adds that a kingdom's culture also reflects its military strength, so he's like on a reconnaissance mission or some shit. Balirasa can't hold it in no more and straight up yells at Gozel for trampling over human lives. And dude ain't flinching because he knows damn well the harm he's causing. Just because humans see demons as pestilence doesn't give him the right to wreck their lives because of it. Fleo asks Gozel what he means by pestilence, so Gozel breaks it down for him. All demons got this malicium stuff in their bodies, but not all of them can control it like Reyes or Gozel. So when a bunch of demons gather in one place, it becomes dangerous for humans. Plus demons are known for being stubborn as hell and always ready to throw down over the smallest thing. So negotiations are like never an option. Gozel peeps the silence and apologizes for killing the vibe, and then bounces for the day. As Fleo and the crew head back home, Fleo's got a lot to think about. At first he was relieved because he didn't see any discrimination against demihumans in this world, but the tension between humans and demons is on a whole another level, and it's messing with his head. And in other news, Blondie and Suya are still trying to climb out of the hole they dug themselves into. Suya's the first one to make it out, but her thickness making it a struggle. And when Blondie asks what the hell's taking so damn long, he hits his face on what bomb Suya's packing, so he gets all distracted, and the pervert falls right back down into the pit. The next day, Reyes whips up some bomb-ass burgers for Fleo and the crew. Everybody's straight up mind blown by how freaking delicious those burgers look and taste. It's even better than restaurant burgers. Then out of freaking nowhere, there's a knock on the door, and Fleo heads out to see who the hell it is. And it's the princess and her crew rolling up. Reyes steps out too, and Fleo asks the princess what she's doing here, because he already told her before he ain't interested in being a hero. The princess says she's here today to apologize to Fleo for dragging his ass into this world, only to ditch him when he didn't have any mad skills. Both Fleo and Reyes are totally caught off guard because their secret's been spilled. So they invite the princess inside, and Balirasa serves her up some tea. While Balirasa's all kissing up to her, the princess gives her a little nod of thanks, and Balirasa's eating that up like a hungry dog. Then the princess asks Balirasa and the other girls to dip because she wants to have a private chat with Fleo. But Reyes ain't having it. She straight up objects, saying that the kingdom's treated her husband like crap till now, so she ain't leaving him alone with the princess. Fleo grabs Reyes' hand and tells the princess that she can send everyone else away. But his wife ain't going anywhere. He straight up says that if the princess can't talk in front of his wife, she might as well bounce back to her fancy palace. Reyes is over the moon to hear that, but she quickly refocuses on the meeting. The princess agrees to the deal, and Fleo signals all the girls to bounce from the room. Once they're alone, the princess drops to her knees and gives a heartfelt apology on behalf of the whole damn kingdom. She admits that putting spells on his bag and ditching him in that dangerous forest were the kingdom's biggest sins. Fleo tells her to lift her head because she ain't talking to any hero right now, just a regular ordinary merchant. The princess asks him if he ain't gonna accept her apology, but he tells her it ain't gonna change squat. He tells her to cut to the chase because she ain't come all this way just to apologize. The princess admits he's right, and then lays out this magic map in front of him. There are these glowing dots on the map that show where the kingdom's army is posted. The princess tells him that the spell keeping the castle safe is losing power soon, and then the demon army gonna amp up their invasion. She says their mages ain't fully recovered their magic yet, and they ain't got enough troops to protect all the towns either. Her plan is to station their soldiers only at the most important spots, leaving a bunch of towns wide open. The princess wants Fleo to step up and protect all those vulnerable towns, and he's left speechless. Reyes goes off on the princess, asking how she got the nerve to drag Fleo into their war when he's a dude who hates violence. The princess says the king who cast the purification spell gonna recover soon, and when he does, he'll probably send an army after Fleo and Reyes, accusing them of working with demons. This gets Reyes all fired up, and she asks the princess if she's trying to throw threats at them. The princess says she's actually plotting the opposite. She explains that while she's temporary ruler, she got enough power to bring the former king to justice for disrespecting Fleo and appointing that fake hero. She plans to make him give up his throne, and she needs Fleo's help for that. The princess says the king's a big-headed prick, and she wants to do better when she takes the throne from him. But to do that, she gotta prove she can lead the army better than him. and that's where she needs Fleo to lend a hand. Reyes starts snapping again, but Fleo shuts her down. He's figured out the princess's true plan. Reyes ain't getting it, so he breaks it down step by step for her. He tells her that the princess showed him the troop locations on the map because she trusts him. She wants him to keep that info to himself, showing the world he ain't joining the demon army. The princess admits he's right and says she wants to save the towns too. She asks Fleo once again for his help. Meanwhile, the ex-hero and his beefy sidekick are still on the land. They're hiding behind some bushes, and the girl suddenly starts bawling because she's hungry as hell. The ex-hero pulls out some cookies from his magic bag and hands them to her. He asks why the hell she's sticking around after all this mess, and she's wondering the same damn thing about him. She knows she's just dead weight, and he could escape a lot easier if he ditched her. He's caught off guard by her words. Then the girl says that the moment he busted them out of that prison cell was pretty damn cool. She keeps giving him props, saying he's got his moments every now and then, and he starts blushing. He gets up and tells her to hurry her ass along, when out of nowhere, a black spider creeps up next to her. The spider shoots some web and ties up the girl, and before the washed-up hero can lend a hand, he gets caught up in the spider's web too. A freaking demon mama shows up and says she's found some fine specimens for her next experiment, totally freaking both of them out. Back at Fleo's house, he's lying in bed at night, thinking about his conversation with the princess earlier. Reyes peeps him lost in thought, so she comes over to his bed. He tells her that even though he despises fighting, he can't bear the thought of those small towns being in danger either. He adds that he's been thinking that if he and Reyes ever have kids of their own, he wants them to live in happiness alongside both humans and demons. He knows it's damn near impossible to make that dream a reality, but he feels like he gotta do it for them. Reyes, however, is confident that if anyone can make that impossible dream come true, it's Fleo. She grabs his hand, promising to always have his back in any way she can, and he thanks her with a smile. Right after that, the demon army storms the kingdom, and folks start bouncing from their towns and villages. One girl gets left behind because she was playing in the woods when the demons roll up. She's scared as hell for her life, but just as a demon's about to pounce on her, Fleo shows up riding Reyes and rocking a wolf mask. Reyes knocks the demon away, and then Fleo jumps off and throws up a protective barrier spell to hold off the demons. He tells the girl to haul ass, and she does just that. Reyes ain't too thrilled that Fleo agreed to the princess's request without even asking for some kind of reward. But Fleo says if he asked for cash, word would spread about him being a gold digger. He claims that the moment he agreed to listen to the princess, he already lost the battle of wits. That freaks Reyes out because in her culture, if a dude loses to a chick, she can force him to be her husband. Fleo tries to convince her it ain't gonna happen. While the demons watching that shit, they want to know why a demon wolf is rolling with humans. Fleo tells them they're the protectors of this town and tells the demons to back the hell off if they want to stay alive. The demons act all high and mighty and tell him not to underestimate their power, but Reyes reminds them they can't even cross his barrier. Right then, the boss of the demons shows up. He's a giant red cyclops wielding a massive club. Reyes tells Fleo that the Cyclops clan is one of the toughest types of demons, serving the demon lord's brother directly. The Cyclops looks at Reyes and starts talking smack, saying her brother was too weak to be a demon general and it's a good thing he died. Reyes gets pissed off and asks Fleo to step aside because she wants to handle the Cyclops herself. She says she won't let her brother's death bring shame to their mighty clan. As his sister, she's gonna reclaim their name and show everyone who the strongest demon clan is. Fleo says he ain't got the right to stop her because it's personal business, but he still asks her not to straight up kill the demons. She agrees and steps out of the barrier. The Cyclops swings his heavy club at her, smashing trees with each swing, but he's too damn slow, and Reyes easily dodges all his attacks. He keeps chasing after her, and she uses her mad agility to land small hits on him over and over. The Cyclops asks her if she thinks this gonna be enough to take him down. Reyes tells him if she was still her old self, she would have ripped him apart already. But after meeting Fleo, she's learned to control her power. She tells the Cyclops to be grateful to her man because he doesn't want him dead. Then she activates a skill and leaps high in the damn air. And with her next move, she switches places with the Cyclops, making him fall free. He throws his club at her, but that's a rookie mistake because Reyes switches their positions again. The Cyclops gets smacked in the head with his own club, and then Reyes decides to finish him off. She's floating 4 trees in the damn air with her magic. Then she uses gravity magic to speed them up and send them crashing towards him. She hammers the 4 bite wounds she gave the Cyclops earlier and pins him to the ground. With that, the Cyclops tells his minions to attack her, but Fleo uses his magic to instantly restrain all the demons. Reyes says he should have let her handle them all, but Fleo says they already won, and he's seen how strong she is. Then he heals the Cyclops, and the dude's all confused about his motives. Fleo tells him he's just doing this so they can go back home in peace. Then he busts out some lightning magic to intimidate the demons and says if they don't leave on their own, he can send them packing by force. Everybody's shaking in their boots, and before long, they start running away. With that, Fleo takes down the barrier he put up, and he says it's a damn good thing they pulled it off. Reyes hugs him and says all the practice they did at home paid off. Earlier, Reyes taught Fleo the most important thing in a fight is pressure. She told him to be confident and badass to scare the demons, and damn, it really worked. Reyes, however, wonders if that's the best approach. She thinks that breaking every damn bone of those demons would ensure they never come back. Fleo agrees she's got a point, but he thinks that method would just make the hate between humans and demons even worse. Right then, the townsfolk show up to thank Fleo for saving their asses, but they're worried about the demon wolf rolling with him. He assures them that the wolf is his partner. The girl they rescued also comes to give them thanks. Fleo spills that they're here because of the princess's request, so they should be thanking her instead of them. With that, he hops back on Reyes, and they ride off to the next damn town. Before long, word spreads about a badass adventurer and his wolf sidekick scaring off demons. The news reaches the princess, and she realizes the adventurer is none other than Fleo. Her heart's filled with gratitude for the dude now. She thinks he's done so much for them, and this time she's gotta pay him back. Meanwhile, Fleo and Reyes are doing their job of scaring the demons away. Demon Lord Gozel's keeping an eye on them, and he ain't too pleased that his brother Uegard sent troops here without his say-so. Right then, one of his minions shows up and tells him Uegard's pulled off a coup and already taken over the throne room. In the Demon King's throne room, Uegard's sitting on the throne while his goon mama shows him the 2 humans she's snatched. She tells him everything's set, and when Gozel comes to face them, she'll sacrifice the 2 humans to the demon god and unleash a secret technique that'll straight up wreck even Gozel. Uegard's waiting eagerly for his brother, thinking that once he takes him down, he'll be the new Demon King, no doubt. The next morning, Fleo gets a couple of unexpected visitors, Gozel and Uluminas, who ask if they can come inside. They all sit down with Fleo and get some tea, and Fleo asks what's the deal that brought them here today. Uluminas seems all gloomy, just looking down while Gozel smiles and says he's here to ask a favor from Fleo. Our hero is caught off guard because he doesn't know what he can give to the freaking Demon King himself. He asks what kind of favor Gozel wants, and Gozel coolly says he wants permission to crash at Fleo's house for a while. Fleo's sitting there stunned trying to process the news, but Reyes thinks it's a joke and starts cracking up. Uluminas gets pissed and asks why the hell Reyes thinks it's a joke when the freaking Demon King himself is asking this favor. Gozel tells her to chill and explains to Fleo that he's in a sticky situation. He says his throne got snatched by his punk-ass little brother Uegard, who staged a coup while Gozel was away. Gozel clarifies that he wants them to know he ain't involved in any of the recent demon attacks because he ain't ordered them either. Turns out before Gozel could make it back to his castle, Uluminas heard the news and went running to the eternal 4 demons of the Demon King army. She thought they'd help her overthrow Uegard, but to her surprise, they all seemed to be neutral on the matter. Apparently, they got approached by Pewfew beforehand, who asked them to stay neutral because there's gonna be a showdown between the 2 brothers for the Demon King throne. Uluminas is horrified by all this and asks how the hell they could believe such crap. But Pewfew says she's been noticing that Gozel's been spending less and less time with the demons in his castle lately. Instead, he's been wandering around cities, blending in with the humans in disguise. She's thinking this might be a wake-up call for him to realize that his crew is starting to rebel against his ways. Feeling defeated, she turns to the 2-headed phoenix demon and tries to play with his emotions, claiming that Gozel personally raised him. But the bird ain't buying it and says it's a whole different story. When it comes to succession, only the strong can rule. And lately Gozel's been slipping, unable to make tough decisions, which is causing the war against humanity to come to a standstill. She then looks at the centaur and asks if he's turning into a traitor too. If they were truly loyal, they'd march up to the throne and toss every single person involved in the coup into the slammer, so they never see the light of day again. The centaur keeps his cool, gazes at her, and calmly says he'll always be loyal to Gozel. He believes the throne belongs to him, but he also sees it as a golden opportunity for Gozel to flex his true powers, crush this revolt, and regain dominance. That's why he's staying neutral. Uluminas feels defeated but walks alongside them into the throne room, where they find Uegard posted up on the throne. with Piu right beside him, claiming they're in the presence of the new Demon King. The fish demon girl tells her to chill out because Uagard ain't snatched the throne just yet, but Piu reminds them they pledged to stay neutral. Uliminas gets all riled up at Piu and tells her they got no right to the throne. But Piu ain't having it, straight up roasts her, and starts laughing. This fires her up even more, and she charges ahead, swearing she ain't no traitor, trying to slash Uagard with her sharp claws. But surprise, even though her attack lands, Uagard ain't got a scratch on him. Instead, her claws break on impact. Uagard gives her a cold look and punches her away, saying he don't need weaklings by his side. Piu decides to finish her off, but out of nowhere Gozel steps in and shields Uliminas, asking his underling to get her to safety. Uagard tells Gozel he's done waiting and challenges him to a fight for the throne. Gozel tells Uagard that this whole thing is hella childish, and he can't understand why he's acting like this. Uagard fires back saying Gozel's been acting mad suspicious, and Piu jumps in saying they had all the chances to take over the human territory. But Gozel always backed out at the last minute. He could have just forced his way to the palace, but he didn't want to spill any innocent blood. And on top of that, he's been spending too much time with humans, enjoying their lifestyle, which makes him unworthy of being a demon. Gozel steps up and turns to his loyal Eternal Four demons, asking if they believe this too. They just stand there in silence, and Gozel gets the message loud and clear. Out of nowhere, he starts powering up. While Uagard gets ready for a brawl, the Eternal Four get hyped because they can feel Gozel's crazy strong powers radiating from him. Piu realizes this too and gets ready to sacrifice the fake hero and the thoughts to gain more power. But to everyone's surprise, Gozel takes off the Demon King ring from his arm, tosses it to his brother, and declares that he's giving up his claim to the throne. They're all left dumbfounded, trying to figure out what's going on. Uagard gets pissed, thinking he's being played, but Gozel tells him there's no point in fighting for the throne when his crew don't trust or believe in him no more. And with that, he starts walking away. But Uagard ain't finished yet and thinks he's being mocked, so he charges at Gozel. But Gozel swiftly delivers a back kick so powerful, it smashes him through walls like they're nothing, and sends Uagard flying out of the castle. He tells him it's payback for what he did to Uliminas. Piu chases after Uagard, while the Eternal Four are left stunned because they never saw this coming. With that, Gozel wraps up his story and says since he denounced the demon army, he can't stay in their territory no more. And in the human territory, Fleo's the only one he can call a friend. Fleo looks at him skeptically and says he'll have to check with his housemates first before making a decision. Sometime later, Gozel gathers the rest of the girls in the room, and they all take a seat in front of him as Fleo fills them in on what's been going down. They're all shocked by the updates, and Blossom asks about the recent attacks from the Demon King army. Gozel makes it clear that he ain't involved in that mess, stating that he told his troops to stand down. Bolano still seems a little scared and wonders if Gozel will still be like when he was coming around for tea and breakfast like before. Gozel assures them they got no reason to fear him no more since he ain't the Demon King and ain't part of their army. That eases their minds a bit. But Uliminas complains about how they wouldn't have to ask for a place to stay if Gozel didn't give away all their money to the army's intelligence department. Gozel replies that their work was crucial to keep innocent folk safe, and they deserved a good paycheck for it. He explains that he took the throne from his old man because he didn't like his ways, so it was bound for something like this to happen to him too. But he ain't got no regrets. In fact, he says they can now focus on other things, like how Fleo disguised himself and protected the town. Fleo's surprised that the Demon King knew about his actions and turns to the other girls, asking their thoughts about Gozel staying with them. The others seem cool with it, but Balirosa ain't too keen on having the literal Demon King in their house. But Reyes steps in and tells her he ain't even the Demon King no more, and she manages to convince her emotionally to go along with their plan. So the Demon King moves in with them, but he seems to struggle finding something to do. He approaches Blossom and offers to help her, but she declines, saying she don't want any more magic in her crops. With that, he heads over to the stables where Baireli's taking care of the demon horses. He asks if he can lend a hand, but the horse gets spooked by his intense aura, and Baireli tells him to bounce. Next, he steps into Fleo's workshop, admiring all the armor pieces he's crafted. They have a chat about it while Uliminas watches, seeing Gozel having more fun than ever as the Demon King. Later that night, they all gather around a bonfire, chowing down and shooting the breeze. But Balirosa still looks uneasy, keeping her distance. Later, she can't sleep and gazes at the moon when Reyes and Fleo enter the room, offering her some tea and snacks. Reyes apologizes for manipulating her, but she brushes it off, saying she's just a housemate anyway. Fleo chimes in, saying he loves the way they're living now, each of them playing their roles, complementing each other, and living in perfect harmony. Banished looks off into the distance, thinking she might not belong there because she ain't got nothing to offer. She knows Gozel wouldn't harm a human, and that he ain't the Demon King anymore, but she also knows that humans and demons ain't all that different. They both have friends and family. But even with that knowledge, she can't pretend to live peacefully under the same roof as a demon. She's seen the horrors suffered by knights who mourn their lost loved ones. Fleo locks eyes with her and tells her she don't have to get along with them if she don't want to. He explains that Gozel can live anywhere, and the real reason he's there is because he's scared Uegard might try something against them. Reyes also looks at her and reminds her that she ain't useless. She's the one who taught her how to bake cookies, offering her some as a sign of appreciation. The next morning, Banished walks up to the demons and tells them she's cool with staying with them, but she'll be keeping an eye on them. If they harm a single human, she ain't never gonna forgive them. Gozel smiles, and Ulimenes mocks her for being scared of Gozel in the past. Banished fires back, saying Ulimenes lost to Fleo twice. Gozel approaches her, extending his hand for a handshake, but Banished refuses, saying she'll do it once she can trust him. And with that, she heads into the forest for the day's hunt. Meanwhile, we see the hero and Suya hustling away from the demon castle. The thief hero mentions that when they hit the town, they're gonna sell the jewels they snagged from the demon treasury. He says they can chill at an inn and enjoy a nice relaxing bath. Suya agrees, but reminds him they're still on the wanted list. The thief hero assures her they'll figure it out once they leave Clyrode, and Suya compliments him, saying he's really clever. Suddenly, a dark aura starts emanating from the bag the hero stole, and they keep on running. In the demon castle, Uegard straight up goes back to attacking Clyrode, but every damn time those demons try to push forward, they get slammed with resistance. Dude's all pissed and asks Pew why the hell his army can't move forward. She explains that Clyrode set up a bunch of traps along their path, making it hella hard for them to push ahead. Traps weren't an issue last time they went to war, so Uegard wonders why they're struggling now. Pew's trying to gather the courage to tell him it's because he's stupid as hell and can't avoid the traps. But before she can even finish, Uegard cuts her off and shows off his stupidity by ordering a massive army to march right into the traps. Some of his men might bite the dust, but he's cool with that sacrifice. Pew asks him how the hell he plans to lead an army that's down to walk through a damn minefield. But he just throws that responsibility on her and straight up punches Pew in the gut. So she shuts up and bounces out of the room so he doesn't have to answer any more questions. Uegard walks past all the demon generals, and once he's gone, they start talking among themselves about how they're totally screwed. Uegard's got 2 brain cells, and one of them's on freaking vacation. No wonder their war efforts going down the drain. Gozel used to make well thought out attack plans before they did anything. But now that the intel squad dipped along with Ulimenes, that ain't an option anymore. The soldiers' morale is at an all-time low with how badly things are going. So if things don't change soon, the Dark Army's gonna straight up crumble. Just then, Pew comes back into the palace, hanging from the ceiling, and declares she's got a flawless plan to boost morale. She's throwing an office pizza party, but first someone needs to help her get down. Meanwhile, in the kingdom of Clyrode, Reyes and Fleo are at a sick festival, and Reyes just won first prize at a stall. She gets all hyped and hugs Fleo, telling him the prize is a voucher for a local hot spring. So she's stoked to hang out with him there, but turns out the voucher's only valid for 3 or more people, meaning they gotta bring along a friend. So Reyes ain't feeling it anymore. They keep walking through the festival, but now everyone joins them. So Reyes is bummed because she can't get any alone time with Fleo. Fleo's trying to cheer her up because the whole point of this trip was to get to know Gozel and Ulimenes better. So she should just chill and have a good time with everyone else for now. They get welcomed by the hot spring hostess, and Fleo's showing mad love for the hospitality. While he's signing in, all the girls get hooked up with free yukatas. They all head to the changing rooms, but before they dip, Reyes goes up to one of the attendants and straight up asks for directions to the fertility-boosting hot spring. The attendant knows exactly what Reyes is after, so she hands her a map and wishes her good luck. Meanwhile, the other girls are making their way to the changing room, and Blossom accidentally bumps into this huge dude. She apologizes for not watching where she's going, but little does she know, it's Uegard in human form. Pew steps in and stops Uegard from losing his cool and blowing his cover. Once Blossom's out of there, Uegard asks Pew why she stopped him from taking out that girl. Piu reminds him that they're here with the demon army, disguised as humans, to boost morale. If he goes off and exposes them over nothing, all her hard work will go down the drain. Just then, the other demons show up, all stoked to kick back in the hot spring. But before they split up, Piu reminds them all to rock the necklaces she made for them at all times, because it's the only thing keeping their Millennium in check. As they pass by Rays, Uluminous, and Gozel, the demons are wondering what the hell's going on with all the demon generals gathered here. They ain't causing trouble, so Gozel starts thinking if he should have done something like this for the army, back when he was still the Dark One. Rays tells both Gozel and Uluminous they gotta avoid the other demons at all costs, because if Uagard and Gozel come face to face, shit's definitely gonna go down. And she ain't letting anything ruin her hot spring date with Fleo. They all head back to join the rest of the crew and get taken to the room where the girls are crashing. They're all feeling the traditional vibes of the place. While the girls gotta share a room, Fleo and Rays got their own private room, and Rays plans to put that fertility hot spring to the test tonight. As Gozel walks in, Fleo mentions that he got a separate room for him, because he's the only other dude here, but Gozel says he wouldn't mind sharing a room with the ladies, but Uluminous and Ballyrosa ain't having it. Blossom steps in and tells them to chill and just focus on having fun for the day. So everyone starts talking about what they're gonna do with their time. Rays is getting impatient and starts pushing Fleo to hurry up so they can bounce together. Haya tries to tag along, but Rays ain't letting nobody mess with her plans to make a baby. Haya gets it and agrees to leave them alone for the day, but since she ain't getting to stay by Fleo's side, she decides to mess with Damalina's, who's still stuck in her own little world. It's been a minute since Haya's been there, so Damalina's asks what she wants. Haya explains she needs Damalina's to help her out. Damalina's doesn't seem totally against it until Haya summons a bed in the middle of her mindscape and starts explaining her goal. After watching Fleo and Rays getting down at night for so long, Haya wants in on the action, but she needs a partner, and that's where Damalina's comes in. Damalina's tries to argue that they can't do it because they're both women, but even spaghetti's straight till it gets wet. But before Haya can go any further, Damalina's freaks out and kicks her out of her own mindscape. So Haya's starting to realize that consent might be a big deal in all this. Meanwhile, Fleo and Rays have arrived at the Yanagi bath for fertility. Rays is all excited and tells Fleo that after they soak in the bath real good, they're gonna test out the effects at home. Fleo gets all flustered, but he's also looking forward to it as Rays pulls him into the bath. On the other hand, Byrelli's doing her own thing, and that involves hitting up the local bedroom toy store for personal reasons. But as she's nervously walking up to the door, she damn near has a heart attack when Haya pops up behind her. Haya came here looking for ways to entice Damalina's into getting down, so she ain't judging Byrelli. But since they're both there anyway, Haya pushes Byrelli inside so they can test out some toys together for research purposes. While Haya and Byrelli have their fun, the others are partying it up at a bar. While they're drinking, Blossom notices that Ballyros has been staring at Gozel the whole damn time, so Blossom starts playing around, saying if Ballyros is so into Gozel, she should just go over and start chatting with him. Ballyrosa says that she's just keeping an eye on Gozel and Uluminous because she still doesn't trust them. But then Blossom calls Gozel over, and now he's got the perfect excuse to talk to Ballyrosa. He wastes no time and starts giving her mad compliments about how fly she looks. Uluminous is getting all annoyed because Gozel can't keep his flirting in check with Ballyrosa. But then Blossom invites Uluminous to join them for a drink, and Gozel jumps on the offer like a happy puppy. Meanwhile, Uagard and his crew are having a blast, stuffing their faces and drinking like there's no tomorrow. They're loving every damn bite of the delicious food. Uagard calls for some entertainment, so Piu steps up, claiming she got a sick dance routine ready. But damn, nobody wanna see that mess. So Uagard straight up decks her off the table and finds someone else to entertain them. Two demon brothers step forward and start play fighting for Uagard's amusement. But things start getting too intense between them, and one of them ends up losing his necklace. Meanwhile, outside the hot springs, Blondie and Suya finally make it. They're relieved as hell because they think they're out of demon territory, so demons ain't gonna bother them here. Suya's complaining about being dead tired from all the running, but Blondie reassures her he's gonna take care of her, buying all the food and chilling she needs once he sells off the gem he snagged from the demons. But just when they think things are cool, shit hits the fan. The gem starts sucking up all the Millennium in the area as the two demons burst out of the wall, still going at it. Every bit of Millennium gets absorbed into the crystal, And once it's full, Blondie transforms into a monstrous beast. While all that chaos is going down, Banished and the crew are still kicking it at the bar. Banished ends up walking over to Uluminas to have a chat. She can see Uluminas is pissed because she wants Gozel to go back to his old gig as the Dark One. And Uluminas ain't denying it because it's straight up true. Ain't no other demon out there with Gozel's level of power. And the man genuinely gives a damn about all his demon peeps under his command. So Uluminas can't stand seeing him walking around in some weak human disguise, taking advantage of Fleo's generosity. Banished starts getting a better grasp on Uluminas now. She used to think Uluminas was acting all childish, not accepting that Gozel ain't the Dark One no more. But now she realizes Uluminas must be head over heels in love with Gozel. This revelation hits Uluminas like a ton of bricks. But hold up, there's an even bigger disaster going down right behind them. There's a freaking huge monster tearing the inn apart. In the midst of all that chaos, everyone in the inn is in serious danger. Thankfully, Fleo steps up and manages to keep everything from collapsing, saving everyone from harm. But since he's busy holding the place together, he can't go check out what the hell is happening. So he asks Reyes to handle it instead. Meanwhile, the rest of the crew assumes Uagard and his demon gang must be behind this craziness. But that monster needs to be stopped. So Banished, Blossom, and Bolano get ready to go into battle. But Gozel tells them to hold up because they ain't got much chance against a beast like that. Banished and the others ain't having it. They ain't just gonna leave Fleo dealing with everything on his own. They may not show it, but they were all knights once, so they know how to handle themselves in a fight. They stick by Fleo's side because they want to repay him for all the help he's given them. They can't just sit around doing nothing at a time like this. Uluminas don't get why the girls are pulling this stunt, but Gozel finds their determination hella inspiring. So if Gozel decides to step up too, he asks Uluminas if she's down to join him in battle once again. Uluminas ain't too thrilled about fighting to protect humans, but since Gozel's the one asking, she agrees. Gozel teleports both of them to a nearby rooftop, and Reyes joins them with the intention of taking down whoever's messing with her quality time with Fleo. At the same time, Uagard spots Gozel and gets all pumped up, rushing out to face him and settle who's the strongest in a proper duel. Banished and the crew peep Uagard confronting Gozel, so she decides to inform Fleo, while Blossom and Bolano head out to evacuate the peeps caught up in this whole mess. On the flip side, Uagard ain't wasting no time and starts throwing his Milicium attacks, shooting mad blasts at Gozel. But damn, Gozel be blocking all of them like it's nothing. But then Uagard switches it up and unleashes the Milicium monster to do his dirty work. This beast tries to take down Uluminas, but Gozel steps in and straight up counters the attack, keeping her safe. At the same time, Banished finally reaches Fleo, and he asks her if everyone in the building is safe now. She assures him they're all good, but there's a freaking monster going wild near the resort. She's dead certain it's connected to how Uagard and his crew sneaked in, rocking human disguises. Banished thinks Gozel's behind this scheme, but Fleo knows for a fact that ain't his style. Since Gozel's holding it down, Fleo can focus on keeping the building intact and leave him to deal with Uagard and the monster. Up on the roof, Uagard straight up blasts Gozel with mad Milicium, trying to trap him with it, but Gozel ain't letting that bring him down. He's got the strength to stay in control and eventually bust out. Gozel may be the stronger one, but this fight ain't gonna be a walk in the park with Uagard's skills in controlling Milicium. Dude might even be able to control other demons' bodies, so they gotta stay on their toes. Their main goal is to rescue the poor human trapped in the magic gems. Reyes steps up and offers to handle that mess. She's dealt with Blondie enough times to know he's behind all this crap, so she teleports next to him and straight up punches him out of the gem as payback for ruining her spa day. When Blondie's out, both the magic gem and the monster straight up disintegrate, but that leaves Suya with nothing to stand on. So she starts falling to her doom. But before she goes splat, Gozel taps into his magic and saves her. He promised Fleo he wouldn't let no humans get hurt, so he's keeping his word. Gozel spots the demon generals and tells Uluminas to handle them while he takes care of Uagard. But before they throw down, Gozel asks Uagard if he's down to back off and call it quits. Uagard straight up ain't having none of that peace talk. He wants nothing but violence, so he charges at Gozel, trying to throw a punch. But damn, Gozel be slick, dodging his ass like it's nothing. Uagard ain't giving up though, and swings at Gozel again. This time, Gozel catches his punch and tells Uagard he better watch his damn actions now that he's the Dark One. That just pisses Uagard off even more, so he keeps swinging at Gozel. Meanwhile, Uluminas is dealing with those demon generals, asking them why the hell they agreed to attack a hot spring with Uagard. And those generals say they ain't looking for no damn fight. They came here just to relax. But Pew, she's all on Uagard's side, so she tries to take down Illumina's, but gets shut down real quick. After all of Uagard's attacks miss their mark, Gozel grins and pulls out some spell that copies all of Uagard's moves. And this time, they actually hit their mark. Uagard realizes that Gozel's spell reflects all his attacks. But it don't mean Gozel can't get hurt. Uagard just gotta land some clean hits on him first. As he's striking Gozel, he mocks him for being a pacifist despite having all that power. Even now, Gozel's choosing to defend instead of fight back. But Gozel's done playing nice. He grabs Uagard by the face and busts out a spell he never wanted to use again. This spell seals away all of Uagard's Melicium, leaving him weaker than your average human. Uagard never even heard of this kind of spell, so Gozel breaks it down for him. He perfected it to take down the former Dark One and claim the demon's throne. Turns out, the spell was originally developed by humans, and Gozel just finished what they started. Uagard straight up outraged that Gozel would even think of using a human spell on him. But at that moment, the hostess and her crew whip out some special talismans. They use them to bind Uagard and capture his ass. And it ain't just Uagard. The rest of his demons get caught up too. Although Pew seems to be enjoying the ride, the hostess had some fail-safe spell on all the yukatas she gave to the guests. Since Uagard's crew's been deemed a danger to everyone here, she uses the yukatas to send them flying away from this place. Illumina's is straight up shocked at how damn easy it was to get rid of those fools. But then she hears some unmistakable clapping sounds downstairs, so she peeps what's going down. And what does she find? Reyes is straight up clapping Blondie's cheeks. Suya tries to apologize for Blondie's mess-ups, saying he didn't know the damn gem would turn him into a freaking giant monster. But Reyes keeps clapping his cheeks until Balirasa shows up and tells her to bounce because Fleo's about to bust out his repair magic and fix up the resort. Once Fleo does his thing and repairs the building, the others offer to help get everything back up and running inside. Meanwhile, Blondie and Suya gotta go on the run because the resort staff is after them. Blondie thinks he's slick and pulls out his magic shovel to escape. But the idiot accidentally digs himself into a water hole, getting blasted away. Back at the resort, the hostess thanks Fleo and his crew for helping get everything back on track. She can't offer much in terms of rewards, but she tells them to have the time of their lives while they're here. Now that the annoying distractions are gone, Reyes can finally enjoy her bath. Once she gets in, she's loving every damn minute of it. Illumina's is a bit hesitant because she's scared of water, but she eventually builds up the courage and starts enjoying herself too. Byrelli and Haya are chilling in the bath too, although Haya ain't getting why hot water's so great. Blossom and Bolano are there too, and they want to know what the hell Byrelli was up to while all the chaos was going down earlier. Byrelli don't know how to answer, so Haya tells them they were getting real cozy together. Byrelli gets all embarrassed and tells Haya not to make it weird, but her reaction screams weird to the others. Fleo and Gozel are in the bath next door, and Fleo's glad to see the girls getting along. He never thought he'd be hitting it off with Gozel either. Gozel's been interested in Fleo since day one because Fleo had the balls to stay calm even in the face of his power. And with all the strength Fleo's got, he chooses not to use it for his own gain, but to try and bring peace between humans and demons. The idea he had at the time was that if he and Fleo teamed up, they might just be able to shut down the war once and for all. But Fleo thinks Gozel's giving himself too much credit. Sure, Fleo hit the jackpot in this ice guy shit and got crazy power for no reason. But there ain't no spell out there that can stop people from fighting. Shit ain't gonna change just because they rely on magic alone. So Fleo ain't sure how the hell he's gonna solve this war mess. But now he's got some real friends in this world that he can trust. He plans on leaning on them and doing whatever he can to make this world a better place. When Gozel hears this, he reaches out his hand to Fleo and offers his help with whatever plans Fleo comes up with. Fleo's all about it and gladly accepts. A little while later, everyone gathers inside and gets treated to a fancy-ass meal by the hostess and her crew. One of them even hooks Reyes up with a special eel pie, known to give you a burst of energy for hours. Reyes shows her gratitude, and while everyone's chowing down, Balirosa steps up to Gozel. Gozel's all surprised because Balirosa ain't never approached him on her own before. He asks her what she wants, and she says she's here to thank him for what he did in the battle earlier. Reyes told her how he made sure to protect humans throughout the whole thing. Gozel brushes it off, saying it ain't a big deal because he can't break the promise he made to her. But Illumina's gets all jealous because Gozel's getting close to Balirosa. Everyone's having a blast at dinner, and when it's time to hit the bed, Reyes comes in to check on them all. She makes sure they're all knocked out, and then she goes over to Fleo, who's sitting there staring at the sky. Now that it's just the two of them, Fleo asks Reyes what she thinks of humans in general. She admits she ain't really put much thought into it, but on the surface, humans seem weaker than her own race. But after spending all this time with humans, she realizes that superiority ain't just about military shit. She remembers how Balirosa served her a taste of defeat in a baking contest they had a while ago. So while she can't exactly say she loves the human race, she don't see them as enemies no more. But forgetting about her emotions for a second, she straight up asks Fleo why he's dropping this question out of nowhere. He tells her he just wanted to know where she stood. The war between humans and demons is about to get uglier, and if shit goes down, Fleo plans to protect the town and make sure nobody gets hurt. He wants Reyes by his side the whole damn time, making sure he doesn't cross any lines. He's confident that as long as she's with him, he can make it through without messing up. Reyes assures him that she'll always be right there with him, no matter where they go, especially because they gotta make sure the world's safe for their future kids. From there, they handle their business, and by the next morning, Reyes is in a damn good mood. The others catch on to what went down, and Haya's pissed because she missed the show because she was knocked out. When they reach the resort's gate, Fleo raises his hand and declares it's time to head home as he casts a teleportation spell. Back at home, everyone settles back into their regular routines. Blossom's back in the field working with Saib, and Bolano just introduced herself to her class. She tells them how she used to suck at magic, but thanks to her teacher, she's gotten pretty damn decent at it. Now she's gonna bust her ass to pass on everything she learned from Fleo. Haya's hustling with her magical garden, and Blossom's impressed as hell with the results, so they'll have a ton of veggies to sell in town later. Gozel's been mad busy learning how to whip up weapons with Fleo, but Ulimina's ain't getting the point, because it ain't like Gozel trying to open a weapon shop or something, but Gozel actually considering doing just that. So Ulimina's starting to try and talk him out of it. Right then, Balirosa rolls up and gives props to Gozel for hooking her up with that sick armor. It was straight fire and perfect for her. But Ulimina's still feeling some type of way because Balirosa is all cool with Gozel, so she starts growling at her. Balirosa tries to change the subject and brings up how the princess getting crowned today. She hoping the demon fools don't start up their attack and ruin the whole thing. And Gozel tells her not to trip about that because he sealed Uagard's Melicium, so he can't lead no attack anytime soon. Meanwhile, over at the capital, Princess Elizabeth getting greeted by her peeps because she just became the queen. But when she heads back into the castle, turns out she can't find her pops. She thinking he must have dipped once he realized all the messed up stuff he been doing about to come out. Even though he her old man, Elizabeth still gotta make sure he pays for all the wrongs he did. She ain't wasting the opportunity Fleo gave her. She's swearing to shake up the whole kingdom, no matter what it takes. In other news, Blondie and Suya on the run again, hiding out in a hole, but that ain't even surprising. As night rolls in, everybody at Fleo's house getting called in for dinner, and Fleo taking a trip down memory lane, thinking about how he came to this world all alone. But now he has good friends by his side and a wifey who holding him down, so he couldn't ask for a happier life. This was the end of Season 1. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more anime recaps.